old guy who's getting dragged. And you are too. All through these news cycles. And you probably thought, we'll just weather the storm. We'll get through this. And then Jeff Passan comes up with a full arrest report. Was this guy really worth this? At 76, after one DUI arrest. Was this guy really worth all this? Man, my man must be Connie Mack, John McGraw, Walter Alston, Tommy Lasorda, TLR, DUI, all rolled into one. Man, that was a whack hire at the time, and it's even more whack right now. Oh, wait a minute. One glass of wine. That's it? Wait, and you're a Hall of Famer? Brother? And you got a ring?
Brother.
Hey, keep moving. All good, TLR. Again, guys aren't saying stuff like that unless it works. Of course. Let's go to the phones quickly. We go to... Let's go to Houston. Maybe he can shine a light on this situation. Jerome in Houston. Hello, Jerome.
Hey, how you doing, Vance Mac? Thanks for the vine. Appreciate the time. Thanks to the crew and Awesome Hawk. I tell you, hearing all these stories about Tommy LaRussa and hearing your story about taking a header off the stairs, I want to try to combine them and make as much sense as possible. Here's the point. The Tommy LaRussa thing, thankfully, I never got so bad off. Slalom, never got that bad where I got behind the wheel. But, during this COVID thing, which I think y'all can tell that the last 6-8 weeks, I kind of had to get off that thing because, I did a header off the stairs off the 4th step, tripping on some kid's tennis shoe and pressure tested our new tile floor. Well, the good news was the new tile floor fared really well. There was no dents, knocks, cracks, or anything. But the thing is, Slalom was busted up from head to toe. I had a knot on my head, literally, Rome, that it didn't leave until last week. I'm talking about total destruction, black and blue from head to toe. And I said, you know what? I might have to quit that old sour mash and just stick to bacon. So I'm sticking to bacon, getting off the rest, and Slalom damn near killed himself. And you know what? I don't want to be there no more. So I'm going to keep coming in, baking and waking and snaking, whatever. I'm out.
Slalom, man. How about that phone call? First of all, he Tommied LaRussa twice.
Tommy LaRussa.
Tommy. Man, I was hoping for that third strike. I was actually rooting for a third Tommy.
Tommy LaRussa.
He Tommied him twice. He Slaromed himself a couple of times. And now says that he's just going to stick to the bacon. That he took a header and had a big knot on his head. Like he Hasim Rahman'd his head. He had a Hasim Rahman. In other words, he was growing a head on his head. And said he just can't go there anymore. Especially with this COVID era. So from here on out, he's just a bacon and a rakin' and a snakin'. So if I'm to decode Slarome speak, am I to assume that he's just going to get high from here on out and he's no longer drinking? All right. That might be the play, man. That might be the play.
Russa.
At Hitman Canadian. From one drunk to another. Nice segue, Jim. He just said it, though. He's no longer... Well, he did... I don't want to say he glossed himself because we glossed him this. But he did third person himself a couple of times. Slarome. But he's a bacon and a rakin' and a snakin'. Wells in the 1080 tweets. I'm also a Hall of Fame baseball person, but I'm not legit. Signed Jeff Bagwell. What does that mean, Wells? What does that mean? Do you keep Jeff Bagwell's name out your mouth, Wells? Carlin Prescott, did you see my Hall of Fame ring? I'm a famous musician. Signed William Joel. Dude, what a line that is. I'm a Hall of Famer baseball person brother.
brother.
William Joel tweets, I'm a Hall of Famer piano person. Brother. Dear Jim, have you seen my ding? Signed the dent in Rome's marble floor 15 years ago today. Brian in Charlotte. No, man. Same as Slow Rome. Had a little knot on my head. The marble was fine. That marble's hard, yo. Slow Rome coming in. Anybody else want any? 1-800-636-8686. One more bit of reaction. Hey, Rome, I would have pointed to my ring, but I don't have one. Signed Donovan McNabb.
Chlorophyll.
It's nothing to make light of, man. Drunk driving is not funny at all. Man, what an amazing quote. Did you see my ring? Why didn't you say so? Oh, you got a ring?
Did you see the...
The guy didn't even know. The arresting officer said, quote, I asked LaRussa what he was talking about. LaRussa stated, quote, I'm a Hall of Famer baseball person. While placing him in the rear of my patrol vehicle, LaRussa stated, I'm legit. I'm a Hall of Famer, brother. You're trying to embarrass me.
brother?
Now, again, you've done that all by yourself. You don't need his help to embarrass you. Quote, I advise LaRussa that I will not embarrass him and he would be treated with utmost respect. Of course, I can't wait for more details to come out. That's just whetting my appetite. We have time for one last telephone call, right? Let's go to the North Bay. Scott in North Bay. Hey, Scott, you're in. What's up?
Hello, Mr. Rome.
Hello, Scott.
Yeah, I once had the same thing happen to me that happened to Mr. Carson, where I gave out my address to a bloke, and it turned out to be a 14-year-old boy. And needless to say, his father came on the line, and he said to me, you're talking to a 14-year-old boy. Well, needless to say, I was quite embarrassed about the whole thing. But I invited them both over to my house, and both of them didn't come, needless to say. But all this happened during the same time as the whole mental thing happened, from Notre Dame there. And, needless to say, I chuckled quite a bit.
I gotcha. That's different. All right, Scott, thank you very much. It sounds to me like Scott got into an online beef with somebody, and it turned out to be a kid. Gave out his address. And it was a 14-year-old kid that he was beefing with, and then the father came on, and he invited them both over to get some. And then that didn't happen. And I think he referenced Manti Te'o in there. Now I'm done. Not really, now I'm done. For all the ones who get it done, it's a good thing we're all done. For the ones who get it done, there's Grainger, offering supplies and solutions for every industry to help keep your facilities safe and your people safer. Call Grainger.com/safety or just stop on by. My thanks to Tyler Lockett, Dalvin Cook, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, and I will see you tomorrow. We're out.
Tommy Russa.
Dell Technologies just announced their Black Friday sale. They're releasing new doorbusters every weekday, plus up to 50% off cutting-edge tech for your business. There is no better time to upgrade your small business with the latest laptops and desktops with Intel Core processors. And there is free shipping on everything. Yes, everything. So give Dell Technologies advisors a call. They'll identify the right tech solution for your business. You want to call 877-ASK-DELL or go to Dell.com/SB Black Friday. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
There's an underdog story happening today in America. Small businesses are fighting to make a comeback, but in the moment they have the least, they're giving the most. They're rallying communities, yet asking for little in return. Well, it's time we gave back. Small Unites is making it simple for everyone to take action and support the small businesses that unite us all. Find out how you can donate, shop, and share today at smallunites.org. Proudly sponsored by Capital One.
For us, let's be there for them. If you missed the Bud Light pregame tailgate, you missed.
Pirates have had problems scoring touchdowns in the red zone. We've talked about that. Now they're scoring in the red zone. They're settling for a lot of Jake Verity field goals. So they're 17 of 19 in the red zone, which is good. But what's not so good is they've only scored 9 touchdowns in those 19 trips. So I know they've gone back to the drawing board this week, and they're trying to figure out some different ways to attack the red zone.
Tune in game days for the Bud Light pregame tailgate right here on Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
Hey Pirate Nation, this is Tom Brown from Brown & Wood Buick GMC Truck. We've been serving the Pirate Nation in eastern North Carolina for 83 years. We have 4 brands, 3 generations, 2 showrooms, and 1 goal to make sure you leave a happy customer.
This month at Brown & Wood, get an all-new 2020 Buick for 0% for 84 months or save over $6,000 off all models. As always, Brown & Wood is the home of the lifetime powertrain warranty.
We're located on Greenville Boulevard next to the Convention Center, or shop us online at brownandwoodauto.com.
This just in, the holidays are not canceled. Now, back to you.
Thanks, Shirley. With the holidays approaching, it is time to plan those special end-of-the-year get-togethers with friends and coworkers at Emporium. Explore your pour at Emporium, Greenville's favorite place for private events. Emporium offers 52 self-pour taps, plus a nice selection of wine and champagne on tap as well. Book today by calling 565-8773 or visit Emporium.com and follow them on Instagram and Facebook. Emporium, Dickinson Avenue, downtown Greenville. In studio with Gloria from Kinetic Physical Therapy. What kind of wellness services do you guys offer?
We have massage therapy with your choice of either a relaxation massage, a therapeutic stretching session, or a prenatal massage. We have foot reflexology. We partner with Pirate Cryo for cryotherapy, also known as cold therapy, and we have health and wellness coaching. And if you're interested in holistic body therapy and saving money, we encourage you to check out our wellness membership plan, where you can have all of our wellness services at a constant discounted price. You can learn more today at kptonline.com.
This is Ashley, and on behalf of the whole Shimmer Boutique crew, we would like to say thank you for voting us Best Gift Shop and Best Women's Boutique in 2020. We could not have done it without you, and we hope that you will shop with us this holiday season. Shimmer carries a wide variety of men's, youth, women's clothing, and jewelry, as well as home goods. Shimmer is your one-stop shop for the whole family this holiday season. Plus, we will always offer complimentary gift wrapping. Shimmer Boutique, located on Greenville Boulevard behind Starbucks, in Winterville besides New River Pottery, and in Jacksonville's Mall.
When you don't have time to go to lunch, let Jimmy John's deliver lunch to you. With Jimmy John's, we can get a freaky fresh sandwich to you freaky fast. Click to order at jimmyjohns.com. Dinner's great. It's one of your top 3 favorite meals. You just don't want to have to make it. Well, with Jimmy John's, you don't have to. Whether you live in a sandwich delivery zone or head into the store, you can always get a freaky fresh sandwich. Click to order at jimmyjohns.com.
This is Mark Washington with Max Sports Performance at Max Fitness. Our facility has reopened and is following all safety protocols. The best thing you can do to strengthen your immune system is, of course, to work out and exercise on a regular basis. I can assist you as your performance coach. You can also enjoy the benefits of a private facility. Avoid the crowds and work out at Max Fitness. Now is the time to get healthy. Max Fitness, just off Highway 43 in the old Ace Hardware building behind Speedway in Greenville. Call me, Mark Washington, 902-4877.
If you missed Pirate Radio Live, you missed.
Play-by-play voice of the New Orleans Pelicans. You know him as the former voice of the Tulane Green Wave, Todd Graffinini.
It's taken by Tyson. He throws up a prayer, and it goes in. With .8 to go. I don't believe it. I do not believe what I just saw.
Disgruntled, disgusted, end of the world Todd is the best.
East Carolina could practice that for hours, and Tyson would never hit that shot in practice.
Yeah. Pirate Radio Live, weekdays from 3 to 6, right here on Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation. This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington.
Hi, this is Jeff Charles, and this is a Pirate Radio Sports Break presented by
Here with Mike Mullis from Fixed NC. And Mike, you were telling me the other day, people ask you all the time, I didn't know you did that. What does that mean?
You know, anything that involves property damage repair, call us first. If it's your crawl space, you've got interior humidity issues, a water loss, your ice maker line breaks, obviously fire and smoke, everybody knows we do those. But anything that involves interior or exterior property damage, we're your repair experts.
Mike, how can everybody get in touch with you?
252-999-0001 or fixednc.com.
The following is an exclusive presentation of Pirate Radio, the voice of the pirate nation. Welcome to Pirate Radio Live.
You can paint this one purple.
Now live from the Pirate Radio studios in the heart of the pirate nation, here is your host, Clip Brock.
Hello, everyone. Welcome into a Tuesday edition of Pirate Radio Live. Clip Brock here inside the Pirate Radio studios, coming to you on Pirate Radio 92.7 FM in Greenville, 104.1 in Washington. We're on 1250, 930 online, pr927fm.com. And you can find us on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. Subscribe to Pirate Radio TV on YouTube Live and catch this show every day from 3 to 6. The Brian Bailey Show every Monday. And, of course, our game day coverage, the Bud Light pregame tailgate and U.S. Sailor fifth quarter call-in show. We'll be with you 3:30 Friday for the Bud Light pregame tailgate, getting you ready for the Friday 7:30 kickoff between ECU and Cincinnati. The Pirates' big dogs heading in to that football game. We'll talk a lot about that on today's program. Coming up in just a little bit, 15 minutes or so, we'll talk to WITN Sports Director Billy Weaver. We'll talk Pirates, NFL. Chase Elliott wins the NASCAR championship in 2020. We'll talk about that and a lot more with Weave. At 4 o'clock, Shae Ward. He is a baseball player at Pitt Community College. He'll be an instructor at the Down East Baseball Hitting Camp coming up later this month. We'll talk a little baseball with Shae Ward coming up around 4 o'clock. At 4:30, Stephen Igoe, Hoist the Colors, joins us to talk all things ECU. And at 5:30, we will talk to the play-by-play voice of the Cincinnati Bearcats and the Cincinnati Bengals. Dan Hoard will get a scouting report on those Bearcats. They look really good. 7th in the country right now in the football polls. Got all that and more on the way on Pirate Radio Live today. Shirley Rhodes is here. Chandler Honeycutt's here. And Chandler and I are twins today. We did not plan this.
I apparently did not get the memo that you guys had planned something today.
Yes, we thought we'd go as twinsies today. So, looking good, Chan.
And you know what's ironic is I wore that shirt on Sunday. So
yeah, you were just a couple days off.
A few days off.
Couple days off. All right, I've got news and notes, Shirley. Do you have news and notes today?
No, I do not.
Oh,
so this is new.
Pass the baton to me,
right,
I guess.
Go ahead.
All right, where to begin? We'll begin with ECU Cincinnati. And we had a poll up on our Twitter account at PR927FM, and I have the results of that poll. ECU, and at the time of the poll, when it was put out, it says ECU is a 25.5-point underdog. Friday at Cincinnati, what happens in the game? Your three options are Pirates win outright, Pirates cover the spread, or the Bearcats win and cover. And yeah, what have you done for me lately? You might not be shocked to learn that fans are down on the Pirates right now and also high on Cincinnati, I think, at the same time. 56% of the people out of 306 votes, so a pretty good sample size, say that the Bearcats will win and cover. 34% of the people say the Pirates will cover. The 10% that said the Pirates will win, I don't know. I'll take what you're having. That would be fantastic. But Shirley, how about you as we sit here a few days away from kickoff? How do you feel about this game?
Well, I can definitely tell you I don't feel good about our let me try that again. I'd like to buy a vowel, please.
That's all, folks.
I don't like our chances, to be honest with you. You know, if this was the Friday after the Tulsa game, maybe. But seeing what we saw against Tulane, I'm just I can't say that I'm holding my breath here, but I do think that the Bearcats will cover, though. I'm still feeling a Pirates cover in this game. I like that for this game, I like that they had a bad performance on Saturday because I think they bounced back. I think it ebbs and flows, and
I see them responding well after that performance on Saturday.
Yeah, but the problem I have is almost like a Jekyll and Hyde type.
Right.
And we've seen this before.
Right.
I mean, this is not the first time we've ever seen this as far as ECU is concerned.
So we
However,
got Jekyll on Saturday. We'll get Hyde on Friday.
well, I would take that if that's what we're going to see on Friday. It's just we just don't know from week to week what we're going to see, and a lot of it has to do with injuries, and a lot of it has to do with protocols. As far as COVID is concerned, some things are out of their hands, and they just have to make do with what they have. But because it's so inconsistent, it makes it hard for me to think that ECU will have a better performance this week than they did last week. I'm not feeling it right now. Here we are. We're only on Tuesday here, even though it's a short week. We play Friday night. I'm just not feeling it right now. I'm not feeling the vibe that we're going to play hard. I thought I felt it last week. I thought they were going to come out pissed off and they were just going to take it out on Tulane. That did not happen. I just don't see it happening this week.
Yeah, we will. Ross on Facebook Live says, I'm one of the 10% that said the Pirates would win. I accidentally hit Pirates win, and it wouldn't let me change my answer. Could have been some of that.
Fair.
So, yeah, and voting and ballots, that's kind of a topical thing right now. Chandler, how are you feeling about the game on Friday?
Well, Clip, we've talked about the trend the past couple of weeks. We talked about it on the fifth quarter the other night. It seems like when the Pirates are against the wall, they do pretty good, and when we have high expectations for the Pirates and praise them all week, it seems that they kind of fall right flat on their face, and that's what happened last week against Tulane. And we jokingly mentioned it. I said, how about we just negatively talk about the Pirates all week?
All week, just
and just kind of go against them, and let's see. But
this team stinks.
We had a caller the other night on the fifth quarter, I think it was Bill, and he had brought up the question, where did this come from and what happened today? And I think I wouldn't be surprised if he called in on Friday night and said the same thing with the Pirates go toe-to-toe against Cincinnati. Not saying that the Pirates are going to win. I don't think the Pirates are going to win, but I could see the Pirates covering in this game. So give me the Pirates against the spread.
The problem is ECU could play a great game and still lose by 3 or 4 touchdowns because of the opponent. And Cincinnati is a bear cat to be exact. But Stephen Igoe pointed out that they have not allowed more than 13 points to an FBS team this year. So, it's going to be tough to get anything going offensively. You're going to have a defensive performance like you had in the first half against Tulsa if you want to win this thing. All right, Shirley has joined the club.
Joined the party. Yep.
Although you are long sleeve, Shirley, you're going to have to cut those sleeves off if you really want to.
I had a wardrobe change.
Right. The middle of the show, wardrobe change.
This thing is kind of big, though.
Yeah, you got a little room to spare in there. All right, we are all part of the Pirate Radio Gray Shirt crew here on a Tuesday.
I still don't have the right hat, though. I don't have a purple hat. I didn't bring it with me.
Yeah.
But, we'll find you one back there. Yeah, but I'm about to burn up in this thing, though.
I think Shirley, all she's doing is trying to get free swag. Like, I'm not wearing my shirt today. I need one. Oh, I need a hat, too. Oh, do you have any Pirate Radio pants back there? Hey, any Pirate Radio shoes?
Let me tell you something. You do what you got to do, and if I get swag, that's one day. That's one more day I ain't got to do laundry.
There you go.
That's how I live my life.
We'll take all the swag we can get. All right, a couple other news and notes. Shirley, what are you doing next Friday at noon?
Next Friday at noon.
Yeah, you got any plans?
I'll be here.
Okay, good. I'm going to need you here because I need you to give me scoreboard updates because UAB and UTEP scheduled for Saturday, November 21st in El Paso, has been moved to Friday. It has been moved to Grande Communications Stadium. It could be Grand Communications Stadium, but there's an E on the end.
It sounds better if you say Grande.
Grande Communications Stadium in Midland, Texas. The game will kick off at noon.
Wait.
A Friday nooner on ESPN Plus.
Is that noon our time or their time?
It is 11 o'clock their time.
Okay.
11 o'clock Central, noon Eastern time. Don't ask why. Just embrace the 2020.
I'll have to give you an abbreviated scoreboard because, I got my lunch break and all.
Okay, all right. But I'm going to need a quick lunch so you can keep me up to date. Or I could just watch it right here, I guess.
I was going to say, you can just sit right here and watch it.
I'll be watching football next Friday during my work day, so that's exciting. Some other news and notes. I saw the ACC basketball schedule was released today.
Yeah, they announced, Duke announced that there will be no Cameron Crazies at Cameron Indoor, which is going to be bizarre because, I mean, you're just basically watching, I feel like a practice.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it's not, but, I mean, and if you've ever been in Cameron Indoor Stadium, Cameron Indoor is, compared to other places, it's like a high school gym. It gets crowded in there real quick. So you can't really space people out in Cameron Indoor. It's just, you're not going to be able to do it. So it's kind of disappointing. I get it. I understand why they're doing it, but it is going to be bizarre to see college basketball on TV and not see, especially at Cameron Indoor, not see the Cameron Crazies.
I wonder if they're going to do the cutouts, and what are they going to do about crowd noise? Will there be artificial crowd noise? Because again, I enjoyed watching the NBA bubble. After a while, I kind of got used to it. Like, I didn't miss the fans as much as I thought because the guys were playing as hard as they would if there were fans there. So I got to imagine the competition level is still going to be high, but man, it's you're just missing so much without those great campus atmospheres, and it stinks to think about.
Well, and not only campus atmospheres, but there's like a lot of campus tradition that goes along with it too, and especially in college basketball, there's various traditions that they have. I wonder if they're going to do something like, now granted, I didn't watch as much NBA as I did WNBA, and the WNBA had a live DJ, even though there was, just personnel and teams on the floor, but they had a live DJ. They pumped in crowd noise. It was kind of a fun atmosphere. It was a little bit different. I wasn't used to it, but I kind of got used to it.
Yeah,
and I know they have virtual fans for NBA.
You kind of get used to it after a while.
Yeah, so I wonder if they're going to mix some of that into it.
Yeah, it stinks, but that's what it is. That's what the mandates are. Hopefully that can change. We heard Ryan Robinson on Pirate Radio Live yesterday saying they're hoping, the turn of the calendar, maybe something has changed and they can get some fans inside Minji's Coliseum. Some other news and notes. Speaking of basketball, Tommy Hansen has passed away. I knew him as the the screaming Celtics color analyst who was the biggest homer perhaps in all of sports, and I love it. I think if you call a one team's game, you're employed by the team. Like you should be a homer. You should root for your team. As a fan, I like to hear that when I listen to my team play. But he was over the top. He was hilarious. He would get really angry during games. And he passed away, I saw today. Shirley, people might recognize the voice if they hear it. Play a clip or two of Tommy Hansen's Celtics announcer.
Whoops. Got to hit the right button.
This is getting ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous.
Pierce is down, and Pierce is hurt. He got hit in the mouth.
This is absolutely ridiculous.
Jim O'Brien is going after Scott Wall, and Jim O'Brien's been tossed out of the game.
This is ridiculous. And you could sense this from the very beginning of the ball game, that these guys are not with the program tonight. And I will tell you this, Paul Pierce, who is an upper echelon player in this league, has been treated like a rookie.
He's down at the other end. He's all right. But went
and
down.
Walked.
That was...
He walked! What is the matter with these guys?
That's the best. That's the best part about it.
Yeah, he's a big giant fan, calling the games. Paul Pierce, he's got the accent. Like everybody listening to him is great. Yeah, Tommy, you're right. Yeah, so he's a legend. And
well, he was a player for the Celtics.
Yeah.
And he played for Red Auerbach, and then of course he went on to be a coach and then a commentator. And what's so funny about it is like you said, he is if you listen to any of his broadcasts over the years, he is a big supporter of the Celtics. But what makes it so much fun is, like you said, he does it from a fan perspective almost, but he's also like a Boston guy. Like he's ready to come out of the stands and beat up whoever punched Paul Pierce in the mouth. He's like, I'll meet you at the car. I'll meet you at the car.
He walked. Paul Pierce is being treated like a rookie.
It's a typical Boston, attitude, and I think that's what endeared him the most.
Definitely.
I don't think most, more as a player or as a coach, even though he's in the Hall of Fame for both. But I just think that Tommy was one of those guys that, Celtics fans could listen to all day long because he was one of them.
Yeah,
and he was absolutely endearing to Celtics fans.
I don't know if he'd ever instruct a class on how to be a television basketball announcer, because he again was just screaming and a fan, and that's why people loved him. So
what are you doing?
R.I.P. He walked. Tommy Hansen. Also, I saw this. I don't want to get too much into it, but Tony La Russa, you see, he got a second DUI. But did you see what he said?
Yes, about the ring?
Oh, my God. So
yeah, I saw
Jeff
that.
Passan tweeted this out from the full arrest report from the new Chicago White Sox manager, Tony La Russa. And La Russa stated, quote, "I had one glass of wine while at dinner with my friends." Before La Russa had his car searched and himself searched, La Russa asked the officer, "Do you see my ring?" He said, I'm a Hall of Famer baseball person." Okay, that's not a very good sentence, by the way, either.
Well,
I'm a radio talker person guy.
Did you see read the last part of his statement, though?
I'm legit. I'm a Hall of Famer, brother. You're trying to embarrass me. End
I'm
quote.
legit. That's the best part of that.
I'm legit, brother. Then he went Hulk Hogan, brother. I'm a Hall of Famer baseball person.
I am legit.
I'm not even going to say my daughter now because she does know complete sentences and paragraphs, but like a little kid, like in the backyard, he hit the ball. I'm a Hall of Famer baseball person. Like, it's Tony La Russa saying that. It's hilarious. Do you see my ring? He keeps his ring, I guess, for special occasions like that. So you got to hate the "do you know who I am" deal. But it didn't work for Tony La Russa, apparently. All right, that's what we got, Shirley, for segment one. Segment two.
All right, sounds good to me.
We got Billy Weaver, WITN sports director. He will join us.
He's legit.
He's legit. He's a Hall of Famer TV announcer person guy. We'll talk to him when we return on Pirate Radio Live, a radio show person guy after this. The best place in Greenville to unwind and have fun is AJ McMurphy's. AJ's is open every day with great food and great drink specials. During the week, stop by for open mic, music on the patio, or sports trivia with me, Clip Rock. The weekends are made for football. Watch every game in college on Saturday, and every Sunday is fun day with the NFL ticket. Follow AJ's on Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat to see their features menu and weekly lineup. AJ McMurphy's, Turnberry Square at Bells Fork, and online at ajmcmurphys.com.
With rates being historically low, now is the best time to buy or refinance your home. This is Talbot Green with Angel Oak Home Loans. Now is the time to take advantage of the opportunity to buy more home or refinance your current mortgage. The combination of our local team's experience and Angel Oak's wide offerings of products from standard conventional, government, and portfolio loans has something for most financial situations. For more information, call Talbot Green, Joanne Weir, or Wanda Hager at 751-2060.
NMLS 1719250 and 685-842. Equal housing lender. Do you think you or your employees might have been exposed to COVID-19? ArcPoint Labs of Greenville offers same-day COVID-19 results. No referral needed. Same-day results available. ArcPoint Labs of Greenville offers easy employer solutions to COVID-19 testing. ArcPoint Labs of Greenville is located across from Vidant Hospital on Executive Circle behind Southern Bank. Call for an appointment or walk in. ArcPoint Labs of Greenville, 215-5688 or arcpointlabs.com.
BMS Builders is your premier custom builder in Eastern North Carolina. With Blackwood and Mills Creek in Greenville, Dalton's Cove in Farmville, and Belmar and Ayden, these are just a few of the developments featuring BMS Builders homes. They can build the home of your dreams. Just ask Dr. Dennis Ross in Greenville or East Carolina football coach Mike Houston. They built their homes, and they can build yours as well. BMS Builders. Give them a call at 916-1578 for BMS Builders.
Hey Pirate Nation, this is proud ECU graduate and former baseball player Brandon Manning inviting you to join my team at Farm Bureau Insurance. Right now, during hurricane season, is a good time to review your coverage with a local trusted agent like me. I will make myself available before or after business hours, and my clients always have my cell phone number if they need anything. From home, auto, or life, give me a call today and let's talk about your insurance coverage and about the Pirates. Call 531-1812 and go Pirates!
Here today with PD, also known as Brian Meyerhofer to his friends and family, YF3.
Waking up this early in the morning isn't easy, but when you're coming to meet a group of guys that you have so much respect for, it makes it a little bit easier to not hit snooze on that alarm clock. I was looking for some way to sort of diversify my workout portfolio, and this is a great opportunity to not only do something different every day, but to meet a bunch of great guys in the community. And you want to perform at your best every day, but even when you're not, this group of guys is going to be here to help push you and help you reach your best every day.
One letter, one number, F3. Learn more today at f3enc.com.
If you missed the U.S. Cellular fifth quarter, then you missed.
Brian's up next in Raleigh.
I'm like everyone else. I'm disappointed and I feel like they played well enough to win. But I think this is just another good example of some people were talking about accountability. Officials should have media availability after the games. Somebody should be able to ask these guys questions, what they saw or why they did what they did. You know, again, to most of us, it's so blatantly obvious. The fumble play was definitely the most egregious.
When the fourth quarter ends, the U.S. Cellular fifth quarter begins. Right here on Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation. Pirate Radio.
We have a standard for the way you're going to play, and we're going to start making sure that we point out those that are meeting the standard, and everybody else has to rise to that. You have to. There is no choice. You have to rise to the standard, because the standard is what wins.
The voice of the Pirate Nation.
Music make you lose control. Music make you lose control.
You're listening to Hour 1 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour is brought to you by University PC Care, your local tech support experts for all your personal and business needs. Visit universitypccare.com to learn more today. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Atlantic Wireless is your local authorized U.S. Cellular agent and now offers curbside service and free home delivery. In addition to phone service, Atlantic Wireless has a great selection of tablets and now offers home internet service. Visit AtlanticWireless.com to find a store near you. Now let's head back in to Pirate Radio Live. Here's your host, Clip Brock.
All right, thanks, Shirley Rhodes. Chandler Honeycutt producing today's program as well. Pirate Radio Live rolling on in hour number 1. Let's head out to the Fixed NC Live line, talk to the sports director at WITN 7. He is Billy Weaver. Weave, how you doing today, man?
Doing good, Clip. I hope you are too.
Yes, sir. Doing well. Thanks for your time as always. And just saw it watching CBS Sports in here, Shirley. We had talked about it our segment 1. The basketball schedule's coming out today in the ACC. Duke not going to have any home fans. No Cameron Crazies in Cameron Indoor this year. And I was just thinking about it, Billy, that attendance at a lot of places was down pre-COVID, and maybe not for the Blue Bloods and the Cameron Crazies are going to pack that area, in Alabama football, they're going to have fans and everything. But it seemed like across the board, generally speaking, fan attendance was down. And I don't know. I'm hoping that once everything does get back to the way it once was before March earlier this year, that fans are hungry to go back and attend live sporting events. And on the flip side of that, fans might have found something else to do with their time and money and not go to sporting events. So I'm interested to see, Billy, I guess what it looks like once you're able to go back to sporting events, and how many people are going to be chomping at the bit to do it. How many people found out they didn't really miss it that much. It's going to be interesting to see.
Well, Clip, it's something that I think the sports world should be very concerned about. And the reason I say that is because when you talk about fan attendance, and what's possible in the future, will fans come back to live sporting events? Will they not? Will they find something else to do, like you had said? I think all we have to do is look at the television ratings, because if you remember back in mid-March, when everything kind of got stopped, sports got put on hold, and there were no live sports events on television. We all thought that as soon as the first sporting events come back, everybody's going to flock to their televisions. Everybody's going to watch whatever sporting event it was. Some sports did okay, but I mean, if you look at, just take for instance the NBA, their ratings were down. Major League Baseball's television ratings were down. Now, how much of that has to do with it being an election year and being such a, provocative election, for lack of a better word, because people were so glued to what both sides were doing in the election. You know, now that we're past that, or somewhat past that, that's still debatable.
Yeah.
You know, who's to say? It's really, really been, you know, we've said this time and time again, it's been a crazy year all around, not just in the world of sports, but just in general. So I think it's very concerning for a lot of folks, you know, that are really hurting in the sports industry right now, whether or not fans will come back. I don't have a clear answer for that. You know, in other circumstances, I would say, yeah, I would agree that, you know, people are going to be hungry to go back to sporting events. But like you said, I mean, people have had to adjust and find other things to do. And you know, I just don't know if the fans will come back the way that we're used to anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's different for everybody. Some people don't care as much anymore. Like I talked to my dad this weekend. He's pretty disappointed he's not going to be able to see the Pirates in person, at least for part of this year, as he joked. I mean, he's kind of been alone by himself in Section 213 all these years anyway. Why can't they just let him go sit up there? And then I talked to a buddy on Sunday, and I was talking about that, and he said, yeah, my mom goes to games, and sometimes I'll go with her, but a lot of times she just goes by herself and really enjoys it. And it's like her, you know, her weekly Wednesday night, Saturday tradition, go to Minji's Coliseum. And so some people are going to be missing that coming up this winter, Weave. But again, hopefully we can get back to where we can get some people in the stands. It's going to be really strange. As I said, segment one, I kind of got used to what they were doing in the NBA with the bubble. So when I would turn a game on, it wasn't jarring not to have fans in there. But it might be a little different with college basketball, because college, sometimes the games aren't as aesthetically pleasing, but you stick around for the atmosphere, for the pep band, for stuff like that, you know?
Yeah, and you know, all you have to do is go to Minji's Coliseum during Christmas break and football break.
Right.
And, you know, some of the games that you see in there, and there's a reason those non-conference games that are scheduled during that time are, you know, not high marquee games, and you know, there's no pep band, there's no cheerleaders, the students aren't there, and I tell you, it's a hard product to watch at times.
Yeah.
And even in now, of course, you know, at that time there were fans there. I mean, it was not, you know, what you're used to seeing if, you know, there's a big time basketball team or an in-state rival. I can remember when NC State played here, and you know, that place was rocking. You know, it's nothing like that. But it's going to be extremely weird. And I think, you know, what's going to be more weird for basketball than football is that you're able to pump in crowd noise at football stadiums, and you still can kind of, it's not dead silence. I don't know what they're going to do for basketball. 'Cause I don't think you can pump in crowd noise in an indoor arena and make it sound where it doesn't sound extremely weird.
Weave, my wife is not a sports fan, and if I'm watching basketball, she's watching her show, and she walks into the room I'm in and hears that squeaking sound of shoes, she immediately like freaks out and like, I can't deal with this. Is that all it's going to be? A ball bouncing and a bunch of squeaking? That could be it, right? I don't know.
It's going to be, I mean, if you've ever been, you know, us in the media, we're used to this walking into practices.
Right.
Or any other college. That's what it's going to sound like. You're going to hear a horn every so often. Do you have a PA announcer? I guess you do, just to announce fouls and who's, you know, just for the coaches' purposes, because there won't be any fans there. You know, the one thing that was beneficial for the NBA is the NBA is different than the college game atmosphere-wise, as far as in the NBA, they play music, and they play like dun, 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 and all that stuff during the plays. You don't have that in college basketball. You rely on the crowd noise to kind of fill the atmosphere of the arena. So it's going to be interesting to see if the college game maybe adopts that, I should say, and makes it to where they're allowed to play some sort of underlying music or something. I don't know. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens.
Billy Weaver, WITN Sports Director, joining us, talking a little hoops. We'll talk some football. The Pirates really laid an egg Saturday against Tulane and immediately have to get themselves off the mat because maybe their toughest test of the season coming up this Friday when they take on 7th-ranked Cincinnati. We talked about it with you on the 5th quarter, Weave, but how does this team respond? How does this team bounce back after one of their worst performances of the year on Saturday?
Well, it just seems to be the case with East Carolina teams over the years that they play very well against the teams that maybe they shouldn't play well against, or vice versa. And the teams that maybe they should beat, they usually have problems with. I think it's a situation now where you're going on the road, you're a 27-point underdog or something crazy like that, and you're not expected to win whatsoever. I mean, it's at a point now, just relax and go out there and have fun, and that's usually when guys play better. So hopefully that's the case against Cincinnati on Friday night, because it's going to take a near perfect game for East Carolina on their side of the football to be able to beat Cincinnati. And if they can't get the running game going and get some sort of balanced attack offensively, the Pirates, and they got to limit turnovers. They can't allow 5 sacks like they did against Tulane. They got to run the football, and if they can do that, they can stay competitive. Now, can they come out with a victory? I mean, anybody can. You never know what's going to happen, but it's just going to take a monumental effort from East Carolina.
Billy Weaver will be a part of the Bud Light pregame tailgate coming up on Saturday. We'll talk about that off the air. Check with your TV schedule. What are you going to be doing on Friday? Do you know yet? Are you on TV?
Yeah, we got a little bit of high school football going on, but it's mostly going to be East Carolina.
All right,
keeping an eye on them. So yeah, we'll have time, and it's going to be Friday the 13th. So look out for that. But it's a very special Friday the 13th. It's going to be my daughter's birthday, so of course I'll be wishing her a very happy birthday. Maybe the Pirates can get her a victory on her birthday.
That'd be a great birthday gift, no doubt about it. We'll have a special edition of the Press Box coming up Friday, 3 o'clock, right before the Bud Light pregame tailgate. And you want to talk about some dark times, We've myself and you, Washington fans, Bailey's Cowboys are awful. Troy D's Bears are the Bears are who we thought they were. They can't win anymore. It's just a table full of losers, We've.
Oh, yeah. And then speaking of who we thought they were, not to get off topic of the, NFC East and the losers, or actually the Bears too, they're not in the NFC East, but all the losers at the table, how about the Jets finding a way to be the Jets?
Ellerby had a great theory yesterday on the show, and I was buying into it, that Bill Belichick was going to out-tank the Jets and tank last night so they wouldn't get the first pick. I think they tried to do that. If you watch their last drive of the game, they certainly looked like they were trying to get it to overtime instead of kicking a field goal. But, yeah, the Jets, double digits in the 4th, right, Billy? And they blow it. That might have been may the worst man win type of thing. Like, both teams were trying to give it away, and the Jets ended up giving it away at the end.
And as bad as Cam Newton had been playing coming up to this, that last drive, he looked really good. And he hit, I think it was probably about a 20 or 25-yard pass to a receiver in the middle of the field that they got up and actually spiked and set up for that 51-yard game-winning field goal. So, I mean, Cam Newton looked really good on that last drive. And, yeah, I just thought it was – and maybe Trevor Lawrence is sitting there thinking, come on, man, you guys got to win a couple of games for me. I can't go to the Jets. I just can't do it.
There is like a trend, and Billy, I know you're not a part of this. I think it's more younger folks and everything, but like people being streamed watching a game. And, we've done it here at Pirate Radio a couple times and had fun and did giveaways. I think a Trevor Lawrence stream during Jets games would be fascinating to watch. Like, is he actively rooting for them to win so they don't pick him? Does he care? I don't know. He's very media savvy, Weave. If you've heard him talk about, it's all God's plan. We'll make that decision when we get there. I don't know. I could go. I could stay. He won't tell you one way or the other how he's really feeling about that. But I don't know. Maybe we'll see an Eli Manning, John Elway situation where they refuse to go to a team. I'd love that story again coming up at the NFL draft next year.
Oh yeah, wasn't it Drew Brees as well that didn't want to go to a team? I'm trying to remember if that was
I don't remember that one.
Drew Brees, but yeah, but there's been a couple of high profile guys that have said, you know what, I don't want to go to this team, and I mean, would you want to go to the Jets? I mean, really? But then again, you gotta look at it this way too. The NFL is a quarterback-driven league.
Yeah.
And if you can get a franchise quarterback, you can build around them. And you really don't need a whole lot of pieces because if you think about it, NFL teams are very they're very close in talent at most positions. You get a couple good skill guys, and you get a franchise quarterback, and you can make some things happen. I mean, look at Dallas and Pittsburgh. I mean, there's no way Dallas should have been beating Pittsburgh the way they were. And if you think about it, take Ben Roethlisberger, who's now just been today put on the COVID-19 reserve list, so go figure. They're 8-0. That's going to be a problem for them. But you take Ben Roethlisberger away from that Pittsburgh team against Dallas this past Sunday, there's no way they win that game. Or on the flip side, you give Dak Prescott back or a franchise quarterback back to Dallas, and Dallas doesn't lose that lead. I mean, I think, a quarterback can make a huge difference for a football team. And so, maybe the Jets look at it that way and try and, talk to the agent of Trevor Lawrence and say, look, all we need is a quarterback to make this turn, a franchise quarterback, and you could be the guy that could bring, a world championship to the Jets, something that, we haven't seen since 1969 when Joe Namath took him to the Super Bowl.
It's a quarterback league. You also need to pair that quarterback with a good coach, though, Weave. And you think about the Chiefs. They found Patrick Mahomes, but they also have a great offensive coach in Andy Reid. If the Jets are going to win with Lawrence, they're probably going to have to do it without Gase, I would think, judging by his track record. So, and maybe they do that. Maybe they fire him this offseason. They bring in a new head coach with the new quarterback. Maybe they try to lure Dabo up to New York. That's like a comedy movie, right? Southerner Dabo goes up to the big city.
Oh yeah, that would be something. That would, if I tell you what, if I'm a college football coach, especially the caliber of Dabo Swinney, I stay out of the NFL, man, because the average lifespan of an NFL coach is definitely about half as much as it is for a college football coach. And you win a national championship like Dabo has done on the college level, you pretty much write your ticket, and you can retire and stay there and retire when you want to and go out on your terms. So I just don't know if Dabo would want to make that leap to the NFL.
Yeah, I think he's fine right where he is, and I think he'll if he does go anywhere, it'll be after Nick Saban steps down and Dabo goes back to Bama. I could see that potentially happening.
Yeah, I could see that too, yeah.
Billy Weaver joining us here on the Fixed NC Live Line. We've good call, although you admitted you had a rooting interest, not an expert pick in the NASCAR race on Sunday, but you said Chase Elliott would win. You wanted Chase Elliott to win, and how about the young guy getting a championship on Sunday in Phoenix?
I tell you what, man, it was so much fun to watch, and the best part of it is to see the in-car camera right after he took the checkered flag and just see the kind of emotion in his face. And what was even better than that was to see Bill Elliott come out there, and right after the post-race interview with NBC, Chase Elliott goes over and gives his dad just a huge hug, and you could kind of feel the emotion through the TV. That was a special part of it. Bill Elliott and Chase Elliott are now, one of only 3 sets of father-son duos in NASCAR to ever, win championships together. Ned Jarrett and Dale Jarrett did it together, and Lee Petty and Richard Petty, both father and son, won championships on NASCAR's highest circuit, and now Bill Elliott and Chase. And, I think it was awesome. It was a lot of fun to watch. And it turned out a little bit different than I thought. I thought, Kevin Harvick would be in there really making some noise, but it was pretty much the 4 championship drivers that were 1, 2, 3, and 4 just about the entire race. So I think all the other drivers just kind of laid back and said, you know what, guys, you guys have at it. And it still made for a very interesting and fun race.
So no NASCAR on the weekends anymore until February, but Eyes will be on the golf world this week, Weave, as weird as it is. The Masters beginning on Thursday. And how much is that on your sports radar as we sit here in mid-November?
Well, it is. I mean, it's going to be very interesting. You know, Tiger's back, obviously, and he's the defending champion. And can he tie Jack Nicklaus for most green jackets at Augusta National? You know, of course, you got to keep an eye on the whole COVID-19 thing. Yesterday, it was announced that Sergio Garcia had tested positive, so he's going to miss his first major in like 21 years. So he won't be at Augusta. There's only going to be 92 players in the field in the tournament at the Masters, and it's going to be a little different. I'm kind of excited to see it this week, but it's going to be a little bit different not seeing, you know, not being springtime and the azaleas blooming and everything like that. But from what I've seen, the video and the pictures from Augusta National, the course looks absolutely amazing. And it's going to be like everything else, just weird without fans there. But I'm definitely going to tune in. The one thing I am going to miss this year is the par 3 tournament, and that's usually on the Wednesday before the first round. And that's when, you know, that's more of a fan-friendly kind of thing anyway. So without fans, it just really kind of loses its luster. So without the par 3 tournament this year, that's going to be a little bit different. So different, but still excited to see. It's still the Masters, man. It's still an unbelievable course. And the one storyline that I'm really been and curious to follow is Bryson DeChambeau. The Masters, you know, Augusta National is not a particularly really long course. So a lot of people are saying as long as Bryson DeChambeau hits off the tee that he could just blister this course. So, but it is the Masters, and they've taken out some trees there, or added some trees to make it a little bit more difficult for guys like that hit very long. And that's the one thing about Augusta National that's kind of different than all courses, is they adjust that course year after year because they want to keep up with the talent, because the talent obviously changes in the PGA each year and gets better and better. So the courses have to get tougher and tougher to be a major. And Augusta National has done that. So it'd be interesting to see some of those storylines.
Remember the phrase tiger-proof? They would tiger-proof a course, Weave. I guess now they're trying to Bryson-proof some of these courses, so to speak. So, interesting note here by Adam Schefter. This was tweeted about 4 minutes ago. The NFL owners have approved a proposal to add 2 playoff teams, 8 in each conference, if regular season games get canceled. So, I guess they're go on with playoffs as is if they're able to play a full 17-week NFL schedule. But if regular season games get canceled, they have approved a proposal to have 16 teams in the playoffs, which is going to be really sad when our team doesn't make it when half the league is in. but I found that pretty interesting.
Hey, the NFC East has not been decided yet.
That is
not
true. Yet. You cannot call that election yet, folks. That is still a lot to be determined.
Too close to call still in the NFC East.
All right. We've appreciate you joining us today, man. We will talk to you on the press box later this week and on the Bud Light pregame tailgate.
All right, we'll see you, man.
See you later. There's Billy Weaver, WITN Sports Director. Oh, I meant to bring up one more thing. Was it John Rahm who hit that shot today, guys? So
yes, it was.
He went, instead of going over the little lake there at Augusta, he decided to skip it like a rock. You know, you skip a rock, and he skipped the ball across and hit a hole-in-one, and it almost looks fake. I need an eyewitness that was there to say this video was not doctored, because it's one of the more incredible and really extremely lucky shots you will ever see.
Yeah, it's simply because if you look at how far he had to skip that ball in terms of going across the water, this is not like a puddle or a small, creek, whatever you want to call it. I mean, this is a sizable body of water that he is skipping that ball across, and he hit it hard enough to where not only did it skip across, it went up the embankment, down and around. I mean, it is probably one of the best golf shots I have ever seen. And you're right, if you didn't think that happened, you would have thought that it had been doctored, but evidently it happened. Video does not lie.
Well,
most of the time.
It's tough to say. That was pretty awesome. Chandler, you're a golfer, or you golf a lot?
Yeah, I consider myself an avid golfer.
Are you a golf fan?
Yeah, I'm going to be looking into the Masters this week. And speaking of the Masters, I think they've been showing like these moments of the Masters of the past. And of course, that was cool. And I can tell you one thing: you can give me 1,000 tries to do that.
Oh yeah,
and I will never ever accomplish what.
Could you get it across the water by skipping it? Could you do that? That would take about 800 tries.
Yeah,
right?
because I mean he's purposely knocking the ball down. I just don't know how he did that, really, to be honest with you. But I told Shirley off the air right before the show, his reaction was not like mine would have been. I would have been jumping up and down. I would have been acting like a complete and utter fool.
Yeah, right.
Because that's something that you just do not see in any kind of sport. It's just unbelievable. But another moment I saw in Masters history is that I think they have this thing on Wednesdays where I'm not sure what it is, but Jack Nicklaus' grandson. It was like a par 3 competition.
Oh, yeah.
And he hit his shot, and what a beautiful swing he has. Just like his grandpa, but and sinks it. It hits the back of the green and slowly rolls back, and it goes in for a hole-in-one. And that was just kind of special to see him kind of hug his grandfather. And those moments like that are always happy to see.
We need HV3 to win a tournament or get one of these qualifiers and get him at Augusta. I would really be into it this weekend, but we'll be keeping an eye on it here while they're playing on Thursday, and Friday we'll be on the Bud Light pregame tailgate talking about the Masters. That's pretty cool.
That is cool.
Football, Masters, all together. Shirley, can you see this?
It's speaking of football and Masters.
Can I read this headline?
Yes.
All right, sorry, Chandler.
Right quick. Speaking of football and the Masters, College Game Day will be at the Masters on Saturday.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, forgot about that. All right, as we go to break, and look, this is pretty serious stuff. The headline from The Independent is "Climate Crisis Could Kill Off Great Tits," scientists warn. Now, that's a bird. It's a species.
Which is very sad.
It's a species of bird, and they're little, tiny, cute little birds. Chandler, are you okay? You are clutching your pearls.
I was knocked back by what you said.
I'm reading the headline. A rapidly warming climate will spell disaster for swaths of life on Earth, including many bird species, and including the one I read in the headline.
So basically, the hotter it gets, the more tits that will die.
Yeah, and that is that's awful. That is awful.
You know, climate change, folks, is a real thing.
Apparently so, but that headline really caught my eye, and I feel like everybody should know about this. All right, let's take a time out. We'll come back. More to go on the Pirate Radio Live. This is not the Bud. What show is this? We'll be back after this.
Introducing new Domino's Carside Delivery. Now when you carry out, you don't even need to leave your car. So you don't have to interrupt your favorite song.
It's time to drive down to the rock show.
Or interrupt your kid's favorite song.
We'll be friends just for one.
You can interrupt this, actually.
Try Domino's Carside Delivery when you carry out 3 topping pizzas for $7.99 each, and we'll carry out your order to your car contact-free. Carry out only. You must ask for this limited time offer. Prices, participation, and charges may vary. Excludes XL and specialty pizzas. Crust availability varies by size. Message and data rates may apply when using Domino's Carside Delivery.
You've seen it on TV, and now you can experience it for yourself. Introducing the Warrior Zone, Greenville's first and ever only Ninja Warrior training facility. This is John from the Warrior Zone, where community, fun, and fitness collide. We offer weekly ninja training classes, memberships, one-on-one coaching, competition teams, and open gym. Not a ninja? No problem. We work with everyone and want people to feel encouraged when they leave Warrior Zone. Make your life better with Ninja Fun at the Warrior Zone. Old Tall Road, next to Plant and Sea at warriorzone.ninja.
Ahoy, mateys! To keep those cars clean, you need the Pirates Cove Fast Pass.
The new Pirates Cove Car Wash and Haviland Express Lube on Glen Burnie Road in New Bern is now open. Pirates Cove in New Bern is offering Fast Passes for $9.99 for new Fast Pass customers. You can visit us in Greenville on Fire Tower Road, Memorial Drive, and on East 10th Street. And have you heard? Pirates Cove on Fire Tower Road is now offering interior cleaning.
So we have you surrounded. Pirates Cove, the official car wash partner of ECU Athletics.
East Coast Grading and Utilities is your source for clearing, hauling dirt, and concrete work. East Coast Grading and Utilities handles all sewer and water issues as well.
I'm David Vaughn. Whether putting in a new subdivision or helping you with any and all of your drainage problems, I can get the job done. Call me at 531-7494.
No job is too big or too small. East Coast Grading and Utilities. Friends helping friends. 531-7494 for East Coast Grading and Utilities.
Every team knows that the two-point play can be a winning move. That's why I'm here. State Farm agent Timothy Sawyer and my team are here to help you go for two by combining your home and auto insurance. It's a great call that saves you time and money. So go for the win and score some savings by combining your home and auto. It's just another way we're here to help life go right. Call me, Timothy Sawyer, at 493-0002 today.
Hi, I'm Annalie Newhoff.
And I'm Rob Campbell.
And we are with CopyPro. We have been locally owned and operated here in Eastern North Carolina for almost 50 years. CopyPro is the leader in office technology.
Does your business struggle with keeping printing costs low or producing professional documents? Here at CopyPro, total customer satisfaction is our #1 priority.
We have a variety of solutions to help reduce your printing expenses and make your business more productive. Call us today at 1-800-682-6558 or online at copypro.net.
CopyPro, we are the professional office systems people.
This is John Gavigan with the Gavigan Agency. Our top priority is doing what is best for our members. Whether you are buying a new vehicle, a new home, protecting your family with life insurance, or filing a claim, our agency will be there every step of the way. Our goal is to become a trusted advisor for you and your family for all of your personal and commercial insurance needs. Give us a call in Greenville at 756-1400 for a car, home, business, or life insurance quote today, and give us the opportunity to show you the benefits of doing business with someone who cares.
This is Stephen Igoe, publisher of HoistTheColors.net. Recruiting is the lifeblood of any college sports program, and no one devotes more coverage to the future of ECU athletics than Hoist the Colors. Want to know who's going to be the next Holton Ahlers or Jaden Gardner? We've got all the inside scoop on the Pirates' most talented recruits and top targets 24/7. Sign up now and get your first month of coverage for a single $1. HoistTheColors.net, the most reliable reporting on ECU athletics.
This is former ECU football player Bryce Williams, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 1 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour is brought to you by University PC Care, your local tech support experts for all your personal and business needs. Visit universitypccare.com to learn more today. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Banking is banking until the service is not the same, and this year has been unusual, but at Select Bank and Trust, they have continued to focus on what has always been important to them, their customers. Wouldn't you like to deal with a bank that is responsive to your needs, can make local decisions, and cares about you, the customer? Try Select Bank and Trust. Bank local, bank select. And Clip, as we head back into the show, got a couple of news and notes for you. Pete Thamel from Yahoo Sports is claiming that a source has confirmed to him that Alabama and LSU will not play this weekend. Another game you might want to keep an eye on is the Missouri-Georgia game coming up this Saturday. The game is still on for now, but Missouri is experiencing some COVID issues, so we'll keep an eye on that. And the Bleacher Report just tweeted out a couple of minutes ago that NFL owners voted to approve a proposal that would add 2 more playoff teams if regular season games get canceled. So that would be 8 playoff teams in each conference if that proposal goes through.
That's huge news, Shirley. Were you, I guess, not paying attention when I talked about that with Weaver?
No, I wasn't paying attention. You expect me to listen to the show every second of every hour? I've got stuff to do over here,
When
man.
I produce Live at 5, I listen to what Troy was saying about 15% of the time. So I understand.
Look, well, for me, it's more like 10.
No Bama LSU in a normal year. I'd be pretty devastated by that, but LSU stinks this year, and Alabama was 28-point favorite, so I'm not really missing that game as much as I would on a normal year. And it did say postponed, not canceled, right? As you saw. They'll get it in.
They'll get it in at some point. We just don't know when, but it's likely that it will not be this weekend because according to those sources, because LSU had an outbreak, and actually the SEC has just been hit with various. I know the Arkansas coach tested positive. You had Texas A&M pause their activities because they had an outbreak.
Florida went through it.
Yeah, Florida went through it. Yeah, so and now you've got Missouri that is potentially, putting their game coming up on Saturday in jeopardy. So it's been a rash of outbreaks here in the last few days.
Unfortunately, that's part of the lead up to the football weekend, telling you what games will not be happening. And I think there was like 10 last week, and could be getting to that number again for this football weekend. Some state news, and don't shoot the messenger, just passing it along. Governor Roy Cooper said this afternoon he is extending Phase 3 restrictions once again for the state. He said the numbers for the virus are too high. He said the state will remain paused in the current phase and will change mass gatherings indoor limits from 25 to 10. So
basically we're going backwards. We reverted back to...
It appears so.
That's what I don't understand when he says Phase 3, because that was kind of like, Phase 2.5? So we're actually going backwards now. But, I mean, if the numbers are rising, then I guess, But I do know that they're going to keep, unless there's some change as far as fan attendance, because I know the Panthers were still holding at that 7% capacity and that they were not going to go above that 5,200 mark unless the governor gives them an exemption. So, I mean, of course, that's an outdoor facility, but still, I mean, you're still kind of looking at, if we're going from 25 to 10 inside, I'm assuming it doesn't say anything about outdoor gatherings.
No. From what I read, it just said mass indoor gatherings limit from 25 to 10. So,
and I wonder if that also has to do with the holiday coming up too, because you got Thanksgiving, you got people that are wanting to gather around their families and stuff, and so I don't know.
The new restrictions will take effect Friday, be in place through December 4th. So that.
That'll take you right through Thanksgiving.
Is that news. All right, we still got a lot to get to on today's edition of Pirate Radio Live. We got Shae Ward, Pitt Community College baseball player and instructor at the upcoming Down East Baseball Hitting Camp coming up at around 4 o'clock. Stephen Igoe will join us on the Fixed NC Live line at 4:30. At 5:30, we'll talk to the voice of the Bearcats and the Bengals, Dan Hoard. He'll join us to give us a scouting report on ECU's Friday night opponent, the 7th-ranked Cincinnati Bearcats. More to go. Hour 2 of Pirate Radio Live is on the way after this.
Banking is banking until service is not the same. This is Eric Clark from Select Bank and Trust, and this year has been unusual, but we have continued to focus on what has always been important to us, our customers. When businesses needed access to the Paycheck Protection Program, our team of local bankers worked around the clock to successfully keep our customers open and their employees working. Wouldn't you like to deal with a bank that is responsive to your needs, can make local decisions, and cares about you, the customer? We are Select Bank and Trust. Bank local, bank select.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
For the latest from the world of golf, tune in every Saturday morning from 8 to 10 for the Golf Shop Radio Show, presented by GolfKnickers.com, the world's leader in traditional golf apparel. Hosts Mark Greenhelge and Matt Blanchard talk golf from tee to green and everything in between. If you like golf, you're going to love Golf Shop Radio. Before you tee up, drop on in. Welcome to the Golf Shop.
Turkey, ham, bacon, these and other meats are great around the holidays and every other day, but they all leave behind grease when you cook them, and grease is a real pain in the drain. When you pour grease down a drain, it cools and can clog sewer lines. That can lead to sewer spills, which are messy, bad for the environment, and can also be expensive. Never pour grease down the drain. Instead, collect it in a container like a used soup can or jar. Let it cool and throw it away in the trash. Together, we can protect our sewer system and the environment. For more information, go to GUC.com.
Hey, Pirate fans, get ready for a winning season and get things done right with a John Deere tractor package from Quality Equipment. You can't afford to lose on your home turf, so we'll help you get the driveway done right at the right price. Right now, our 1023E driveway package starts as low as $148 per month. So get quality done right before every ECU football weekend. Visit QualityEquip.com. Offer ends 12/31/2020. Subject to approved installment credit with John Deere Financial. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
It's time to get back in the saddle with Rocking Horse Ranch. Join us Saturday, November 14th for an evening filled with games and prizes to support the reopening of the Rocking Horse Ranch Therapeutic Riding Program. Rocking Horse Ranch provides a fun and unique therapy program to our special needs, cancer, and veterans community. The horses miss their favorite students and can't wait to see them again soon. And Rocking Horse cannot do this without you. Join us November 14th to get back in the saddle or visit rhrnc.com for more information.
This is Brandon Tate with Firstborn Food Distribution, and coming up on Saturday, November 21st, we're going to feed 5,000 people. We need two things. One, we need you to help volunteer and help deliver this food. Two, we need your money. It costs over $16,000 to do this, and we need you to step up to the plate with your wallets and your time. To donate or volunteer, please visit pr927fm.com and click on our ad. Firstborn Food Distribution. Come feed your neighbors.
While other folks come and go, Greenville Pool and Supply has been your local pool store in Greenville and Eastern North Carolina for over 40 years. Are you finding yourself spending more time at home than ever before? If so, turn your backyard into a vacation destination. Greenville Pool has pools for any size backyard. Choose from the very popular fiberglass, classic vinyl, or custom concrete. If you order your pool now, it can be in by this spring. If you're ready for a pool, contact the pros at Greenville Pool and Supply.
Did you know that every year in the United States, 7,000 people become HVAC technicians? But did you also know that every year, 10,000 HVAC technicians retire? This is HB Moore with Tradesformers, a youth apprenticeship program designed to connect talented students with growing industry trades in our area. November is National Apprenticeship Month, and we encourage anyone interested in joining the growing trade workforce to visit tradesformers.com to learn more and to get started. The possibilities and career paths ahead of you are endless.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, W224EI Greenville, WDLX Washington, and W281CH Washington. You're listening to Hour 2 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by Bud Light, reminding Pirate fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Well, welcome back. From sales to service, Greenville Auto World has all of your vehicle needs covered. Shop all of their inventory now at greenvilleautoworld.net. If you're also looking for someone to service your vehicle, Greenville Auto World has a full service and repair facility. They do brakes, oil changes, tires inspections, and they can repair any kind of vehicle. Greenville Auto World across from Speedway at Bells Fork and online at greenvilleautoworld.net. Thanks to Tim Sutton and Jim Rogers of Greenville Auto World. Now let's head back into Pirate Radio Live. Here's your host, Clip Brock.
All right, thanks, Shirley Rhodes. Welcome back into the program. Coming up around 4:30, we will talk to Stephen Igoe, Hoist the Colors. He'll join us on the Fixed NC Live line. Got the voice of the Cincinnati Bearcats and Cincinnati Bengals, Dan Hoard, coming up at 5:30 as we will talk Bearcats football. The Pirates and Cincinnati go at it 7:30 Friday night. We'll be with you 3:30 Friday on the Bud Light pregame tailgate. We also got to open up the Pirate Radio booty bag in hour 3. Shirley, we'll be giving away 1 or 2 prizes today.
Let's see. Hold on. Let me grab my sheet here.
Yeah, what are we doing?
We are going to go 2 for Tuesday today.
All right, 2 for Tuesday. 2 winners coming up later on.
You want me to tell you what they're going to win?
What's that? Yeah. What are we giving away?
Let's do a $40 gift card to Familia. That'll be one of them.
Wow.
And I'll throw out a large 2-topping pizza from Domino's, too.
All right, so that is on the line coming up in hour number 3. We'll talk some baseball now. as we are joined in the Pirate Radio studios by Shae Ward, Pitt Community College baseball player, also one of the instructors at the Down East Baseball Hitting Camp coming up later this month. Shae, thanks for dropping by, man. How you doing?
Doing really well.
You're in your practice gear here, so a little fall ball going on right now at Pitt Community?
A little bit. Just came from practice, about a 2-hour practice, had weights for about 50 minutes, then headed out to practice for some BP.
And is that, like, I can imagine not being able to play baseball so long. Like, do you appreciate the practices more now? Like, at least you're able to get out on the field?
For sure. Back in high school, freshman year, I was like, man, when's practice going to be done? This year, I was like, when's it going to start up? I don't want it to end.
So, and you went to high school at?
D.H.
Conley. You're a Viking, like myself. Well done. And how long have you been at Pitt Community College? What year are you?
This is my second year.
Okay. What position you play?
Third and left field.
Gotcha. All right. Tommy Easton always putting together a great team over there in Winterville. We talked to Tommy as the sports hiatus was going on, and he was frustrated. Shae, just like I'm sure all the players were, but now are you starting to see some light at the end of the tunnel, maybe for some January, February Pitt Community College baseball?
Yeah, the more we get into it, the more we talk about it, it's more of a like it's gonna happen. It's not like a question in the air. We're trying to make everything happen so everything can get back to a little bit of normalcy.
How much, and I know some like wood bat leagues and things like that were going on this summer. Were you able to play in any baseball games this summer?
I was. I played in about 25 with the Tarboro River Bandits. They played about 50, went on to win the championship. But had some things go on. Didn't finish the season there, but they did really well. Coach Brandon Matthews did really well with that team. Got them together for the first championship of the first year of a program.
And I'm glad you got to get some games in, because this is the first summer in your life that you wouldn't have been able to play baseball, right? I mean, you've been playing since what? I would imagine 5-6 years old. So what was it like for you, Shae, to have baseball every summer and it kind of gets taken away from you? At least you were able to get some games in, but how weird was this year for you personally?
It was actually very tough. Gyms got shut down, couldn't go to next level, hit, all the cages shut down. Ended up picking back up the video game, started playing the show just so I could get a little bit of baseball in there. But once the gym started opening back up, that's all I was doing was going in the gym, hitting, lifting. That's all I could do.
I played a ton of the show this summer, and Diamond Dynasty is really addicting.
98 overall, baby.
All right, there you go. Are you on PS4 or Xbox?
PS4.
All right, we'll have to hook up. You can kick my tail one night online. All right, so the Down East Baseball Hitting Camp coming up. And Shae, you're one of many names on this list, and it's a list of legends. Like, it's cool that you're an instructor, but like, how much are you going to be asking questions to these guys while you're at the camp?
Man, last year there were some guys there that I was like, wow, what are they doing here in North Pitt? Like, Coach Meadows does a really good job of setting that up. He has really good connections there. It's just fun to work with the little kids, teach them a little bit, and then myself also learn a little bit.
Yeah, just tons of great names. Coach, as you said, Ryan Meadows does a fantastic job organizing all this. But the special guest listed, Johnny Nairn. The Nairn name is a legendary name here in North Carolina and across the baseball world. Tommy Easton, head coach out of Pitt Community College. Howard McCullough, scout with the Mariners. George Whitfield, and of course Rabbit Fulgham, another legendary name. And then some local guys. Jason Mills, your old coach out of D.H. Conley, the legendary RV. Corey Skinner out at Aiden Grifton, Eddie Losner, Farmville Central, just to name a few. Just a ton of great names going on. And so were you a part of this camp last year?
I was. I had a little bit of part of it. Helped some of the little kids, T-work, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So.
And how much do you enjoy, you're learning, you're still coming up in your baseball career. How much do you enjoy the teaching aspect of it?
I love it. It's sometimes great to be the picker instead of get picked on. I like to critique a little bit, show what I've got, and then instead of getting picked on all the time.
And you've been able to play for some winners, that's for sure, with Coach Mills out at Conley and Tommy Easton. And what do? You kind of take a little bit from everything they've given you and pass that along to others?
That's exactly what I do. Everything they've taught me, the most important parts, I try to go on to the little kids. Hopefully they'll stick to it.
Spencer Brickhouse, former Pirate, going to be a part of this as well, now in the Diamondbacks organization. So a lot of great names. It's $105, and people can find out more about the Down East Hitting Camp. If you look that up, and Ryan Meadows and the folks will take care of you. And he said that the numbers could be slightly down a little bit with COVID this year, but he's already got a lot of people signed up, and you can still sign up and register. And it's a 2-day event, November 21st, 22nd. They're going to feed you one of those days, and you're going to get, and this year, Shae, you might get more one-on-one attention because I would imagine the groups might have to be a little smaller. So you're going to get a lot of instruction from some great hitters.
Yeah, right. I'm really excited about that as well because last year was kind of first year we're getting everything under our feet, just figuring out everything. This year, I think it's going to be a really good setup, have everything perfectly planned out, and I'll learn a lot as well as the kids.
All right, talking to Shae Ward here inside the Pirate Radio studios. I know I interact with your dad a little bit on Twitter. We talk junk to each other mostly about sports. I'm a Braves fan. No surprise, he's a Mets fan, and that Shae, of course, the name. And I was joking with you before we came on. I actually went by my parents' house Sunday just in time to see Alex Smith throw an interception. And it brought back a lot of bad Redskins memories of watching football with my dad. He made me a Skins fan. So did your dad name you Shae, big Mets fan? Did he make you a Mets fan?
Yeah, he did. Basically, right when I came out, right when I was able to speak, we were watching the Mets games. He was like, all right, you're named after Shae. I don't think you really have a choice. You're gonna be a Mets fan. So that's what I am today. Probably will be for the rest of my life.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I see it as a good thing. I like New York.
All right. And how old are you?
I'm 19.
So you were not on this earth during the Subway Series, I guess. Wasn't that 2000? I believe Mets, so. Yankees, around that time. But you did see them in a World Series.
I did, 2015.
Yeah, against the Royals, right? So, and the Mets, believe today, they had a press conference, new ownership. So I don't know, maybe some signs of life in that New York organization. Although, as you know, the NL East, I mean, the Braves should be good for a while. The Phillies have a ton of all-stars on the roster. Nationals won the World Series last year. I mean, and the Marlins made the playoffs. It could be the toughest division in baseball.
It is definitely going to be the toughest. It's different for my football team. The Giants, they got... I want to talk about that one.
Well, they look, Daniel Jones can beat Washington. That's all he does.
Yeah,
4-0 against Washington. Can't beat anybody else. So tough times to be a New York sports fan, I guess, at the moment. All right, Shae Ward joining us. Shae, what are the things you want to pass along, I guess, the most, whether it comes to something physical, maybe a mental part of the game when you're instructing the kids at the Down East baseball hitting camp?
Definitely don't fall out of love with the game just because you're having bad season, bad weeks. I went through that myself in high school. I was like, man, just don't like baseball anymore. But it was because I was doing so bad. I stopped working on it. But I would say baseball is a tough sport. If you're 3 for 10, that's 300. You're doing pretty well.
Borderline Hall of Famer.
Yeah, anywhere else you can't really do that. So I'd say stick with the love of the game, stick true to yourself, and I think you'll come out on top.
Yeah, I think that's great advice. Did you play other sports at Conley, or were you baseball?
I did. Play baseball and basketball.
Okay, good deal. Yeah, you got some height on you. So, Coach Rob Maloney, solid coach as well.
Yeah.
And he's rooting for he's complaining about his 8-0 Steelers, and that makes me sick. He's like, we should be winning by more. I'm like, dude, just take the win and move on, right?
Yeah, right.
Shae, thanks for joining us, man. Appreciate it, and good luck to your Bulldogs. And when are you guys? What do you have on the docket as far as fall ball goes for PCC?
Fall ball, we've done a whole bunch of scrimmages, just inter squads, trying to get video because Division I programs, they can't recruit right now. Their start date's January 1 right now. I saw something about April 1st, getting it pushed back to April 1st. So we're trying to get some video out, get some of the older guys out of here so they can go on to better programs.
And where do you think you'll end up being this time next year?
This time next year, either back at Pitt or hopefully at one of my dream schools, ECU, UNCW, Charlotte, any of those schools I've really had interest in, but haven't talked to anybody.
Awesome. Yeah, good luck to you, man. Do you, and I'm sure you want to keep doing this as long as you can.
Oh,
is that the plan?
That's the plan.
To be a pro? Good stuff. Shae, thanks for joining us, man. Appreciate it.
Having me.
All right, that is Shae Ward joining us here inside the Pirate Radio studios. The Down East hitting camp coming up. And once again, Ryan Meadows, coach out of North Pitt and Pitt County Post 39, does an incredible job with that. We'll take a time out, come back. We got more to go on a Tuesday edition of Pirate Radio Live. We're back with you after this.
Hey Pirate Nation, this is former ECU tight end Bryce Williams from my friends at the Auto Store Group. Thanksgiving is coming up and the Auto Store Group wants to feed your family with our turkey giveaway. For a chance to be a winner, simply go to asgcars.com/turkey giveaway and fill out the registration form. There is no purchase necessary and winners will be announced on Saturday, November 21st. Wouldn't a free turkey this year be awesome? Sign up today at asgcars.com/turkey giveaway. The Auto Store Group. Go Pirates.
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer here. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now here. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beer, beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
Medicare is not one size fits all, but which plan is right for you? Hi, I'm Denise Walker, and I'm a licensed insurance agent here in North Carolina. Whether you are turning 65, new to Medicare, or already have a plan, I can help you compare your Medicare options. I can help you find a plan offering low to no monthly premiums, prescription drug coverage, and a wide range of additional benefits like dental, hearing, vision, and more. Call me today at 434-531-5674 to get a no-cost, no-obligation Medicare benefits review.
While other folks come and go, Greenville Pool and Supply has been your local pool store in Greenville and Eastern North Carolina for over 40 years. Are you finding yourself spending more time at home than ever before? If so, turn your backyard into a vacation destination. Greenville Pool has pools for any size backyard. Choose from the very popular fiberglass, classic vinyl, or custom concrete. If you order your pool now, it could be in by this spring. If you're ready for a pool, contact the pros at Greenville Pool and Supply.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
That's right. It's the most wonderful time of the year to get your car washed at the Shine Factory in Greenville. Now through the end of the year, the Shine Factory is offering their unlimited Lava Factor car wash for only $20 per month or the Manager Special Wash for only $25 per month. Simply pay one low price and wash all month, anytime, with free high-powered vacuums. Plus, don't forget to pick up some gift cards for your family and friends. The Shine Factory is open daily from 7 a.m. until 9 p.m. on Memorial Drive across from Lowe's.
Hey, welcome to Jack Brown's.
Hey, can I get a cheeseburger and add lettuce and tomato?
No, we don't have it. You can get some macaroni and barbecue chips on it, though. Greg Brady style. Or cream cheese and jalapeno jelly. Cobra Kai. Or bacon, a fried egg, and some cheese. Chiplet. Or just cheese, you know, like a cheeseburger.
Cool. I'll take a Greg Brady with those new cheese fries you guys got.
Sounds good.
Oh, I forgot. Can I get us at a ranch?
No! Jack Brown's, 805 Dickinson Avenue, Greenville.
The icy treat that can't be beat is Sparky's Snowballs of Greenville. But did you know Sparky's also has funnel cakes and fried Oreos too? Grab yourself a delicious treat today at the Sparky Snowballs location at the Food Truck Rodeo on the corner of Evans Street and Fire Tower Road. Be sure to follow Sparky's on Facebook for their daily schedule and promotions. Sparky Snowballs, serving delicious icy treats, funnel cakes, and fried Oreos to smiling faces for over 20 years. Remember to follow Sparky's on Facebook or visit SparkySnowballs.com. The Rick House is Eastern North Carolina's premier American-styled restaurant and bar. Join us at the Rick House for mouth-watering steaks and the best burgers around. Check out the spicy mahi risotto or the bourbon pecan salmon. Wednesday night is date night. 2 salads, an appetizer, a bottle of wine, 2 entrees, and a dessert for just $55. Thursday is ladies' night with $5 martinis and special apps. The Rick House, American Provisions and Spirits, 710 Red Banks Road beside the bowling alley in Greenville. The Rick House.
Pirate Radio. The voice of the Pirate Nation.
1, 2, 3,
You're listening to Hour 2 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by Bud Light, reminding pirate fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back, and PRL this afternoon is brought to you by Bud Light, who reminds pirate fans to always stay in the game and drink responsibly. Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now let's head back in to Pirate Radio Live. Here's your host, Clip Brock.
All right, back with you, Hour 2, Pirate Radio Live, coming up in a little bit. We'll talk to Stephen Igoe from Hoist the Colors. Right now, we will hear from the head football coach of the Pirates, Mike Houston. Everything has been pushed up a day this week due to the Friday night kickoff. So we'll have our Zooms with Donnie Kirkpatrick and Blake Harrell coming up later today, and you can see those and read quotes on those on our social media sites, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. So stay tuned for that. We'll also have one final Zoom with Mike Houston for the week coming up on Wednesday. We heard from Coach Houston yesterday via Zoom on the weekly press conference, and here are his opening comments.
All right, quick turnaround. Obviously, Saturday to Friday turnaround for game week means everything got sped up pretty good. So came back yesterday, took a good look at the film with players. Coaching staff was back in the office early Sunday morning, preparing for Cincinnati also. Got our corrections and adjustments and everything from the Tulane game taken care of. Had a shorter practice yesterday, just, concerned this week with making sure we get our kids fresh for Friday night. So without the day off today, we went just a short Sunday practice, and then be a touch shorter the next 2 days than a traditional week to try to keep from putting too much on our kids right here at the beginning of the week. So should be rested up, recovered, and prepared, and ready to go Friday night. Tough matchup. Good football team we're playing, one of the top teams in the country, obviously. But it's an exciting matchup for our players. To be able to go on the road against an opponent of Cincinnati's caliber and have that opportunity to play on the national stage. Obviously, our players and staff will be very excited for that matchup.
All right, I am not a math guy, but this math is pretty easy. In AAC games, Cincinnati has allowed 7, 13, 10, and 10. That totals 40 points. That's 40 points in 4 league games. That is 10 points a game. And, you give up 7 to South Florida. Okay, South Florida's not very good. You allow 13 to SMU, 10 to Memphis, 10 to Houston. I mean, we're talking about some high-powered offenses right there, and this Bearcats defense has been phenomenal, and Mike Houston gave his thoughts on that D.
I think really it's not just for their defense. I thought the thing looking at all 3 phases is just the thing that stands out is their team speed. I think they run very, very well at all levels. They have good size up front on the defensive line, but those kids can really move. Run very well in the secondary. They're very aggressive at the linebacker position. You'll see them play some drop 8, where it's just a 3-man rush and they're still getting pressure on people. And then they bring a variety of pressures, much like we do. So very athletic, run very, very well. People have struggled to run the football against them this year, and they've been very stingy.
So last year, the Pirates and Bearcats played a classic at Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium, and ECU went toe-to-toe with Cincinnati. Is it the same team, the same personnel you saw last year when you took on Cincinnati that you'll be seeing this Friday?
Well, it's the same players. You look at their roster, these guys have been playing for multiple years. They're seniors backed up by juniors across their 2 deep. Quarterback's a 3-year starter. We played well against them offensively last year. Tough game. Lost on a kick there at the end. But obviously, having to travel up there, playing on the road will be tough. And I think they're much improved. I mean, I even think they're improved from from the team I saw at the beginning of the year. I think they've continued to get better. Great depth across the board. So I just think we're playing a really good football team Friday night.
All right, head football coach of the Pirates, Mike Houston. Ronnie Woodward asked a question. After the ECU Tulane game, Willie Fritz, Green Wave coach, said that ECU was kind of tipping their pitches, so to speak. He knew when they were going to blitz, and their young quarterback Pratt was able to make some checks at the line and get his guys the right call, and that helped their offense against ECU's defense on Saturday. Ronnie Woodward asked Mike Houston about that, and here's what he had to say.
Well, I thought they did a good job with some of their and they were remaining under center, so it made it challenging for us to adjust anything. But they did a good job with having us tip our hand, and then I thought their offensive line played very, very well against our movement. So they had a great game plan for us. I told Coach Harrell after the game that it had to take a good hard look at that film, because I do think that's the best anyone has prepared for us.
All right. The Pirates took a step back on Saturday. We all saw it. We talked about it on the U.S. Cellular fifth quarter call-in show. Mike Houston was asked, does he still see the progression there despite the bad result on Saturday?
I think we have seen progress on the field in that we're highly competitive in American Conference games versus a year ago we really struggled to be. You're right, we do have a very youthful roster. And those guys are going through a lot of first experiences. The big thing I try to do is I try to keep them focused on, the things that we preach daily of what's important. And that's pushing ourselves to be the very best we can be each day, pushing ourselves to work to be, a more cohesive team every single day. And you look for motivational things. I try to find something motivational each week, but it really comes down to, we have set some goals for our program of what we want to become. And every single day we're working towards those goals. You're right, it is. It's tough with, so many 18-year-olds, just keeping them upbeat. But I see so many positives. Even, obviously extremely disappointed in the way we played in really the middle of our ball game against Tulane last week. But I can still find some positives and some bright spots coming out of that game. And so it's just trying to focus on the things we're doing well, trying to get things corrected that we're not doing well, try to, show the things that we can improve on, whether it's, as a coaching staff, because I think we can do things better as a coaching staff than what we did last week, or as players. But the biggest thing we're trying to focus on is, we have a positive team-minded culture in our locker room. We have really good kids in this program, and just trying to cultivate, all those positives to keep getting better every single week.
All right, Mike Houston, and this is something that will continue next week. We found out the kickoff time for ECU Temple is, this is not going to be a shocker, noon, and it's on ESPN Plus. ECU has played either noon games or night games, no in between so far this season, and the Pirates have looked pretty good at night so far. Remember the win over South Florida? Remember the game against Tulsa that should have been a win, where the referees helped out the Golden Hurricane a little bit. So the Pirates have had some good evening performances so far this year. Can you take any confidence from that going into the game on Friday?
Well, I think that the team has shown it can handle the schedules of travel. It can handle the schedules of playing at night, because each of our last two road games have been night games. And so I think that our team has confidence in what they need to do to get ready. The big focus, though, is home or away. It's our preparation, and the weeks that we have had great weeks of preparation and really crisp practices and great competition. We've played well that weekend, and so that's been my big focus with the team yesterday. It'll be my big focus with them today, because they know it, because they feel it, they go through it, and so they know that when they practice well, they play well. And so hopefully we can have a great week of practice this week in preparation and be ready to play at a very high level Friday night.
All right, they'll be taking on Cincinnati, and Cincinnati starting quarterback Desmond Ridder. Ridder is better as a runner than he is a passer, although, the passing game coming along, he does have 11 touchdowns, but 6 interceptions. He has 394 rushing yards this year, had a 91-yard touchdown run. He has 8 rushing touchdowns on the year. That leads all Bearcats players. So he is dangerous with his legs. He's coming along more and more as a passer, and Mike Houston gave his thoughts on the Cincinnati signal caller.
Well, I think he's a legitimate run threat, obviously. He's their second leading rusher. They have a lot of quarterback design stuff with reads off the backside of a run play, and with the way he runs, you have to account for him, and so it's going to be something that's going to be a challenge this week. And then, he has stuff where a play breaks down and he gets a lot of yardage in quarterback scramble runs. And so I think he's really improved his play since the beginning of the year. At the beginning of the year, he struggled a little bit with some turnovers, but I think he's gotten more consistent with taking care of the football and his decision-making, and his ability to run certainly gives them an additional threat offensively.
All right, how about the ECU quarterback, Holton Ahlers? Why are his rushing numbers down this season?
I think it's a couple of different things. We had a couple of quarterback design runs last week, but there's just the standard zone read stuff. People are defending Holton. They know he's a mobile quarterback, and they're taking some of that away. So, we've got to be creative in order to run the football against Cincinnati. So I think we're going to have to look at a lot of different things. But people are defending Holton a little bit different this year than they did last year.
We'll talk more about that with Stephen Igoe. He asked that question to Mike Houston, and we'll talk about how maybe that could help out the Pirates offensively this week, getting Ahlers involved in the run game. Finally, Coach talked about the Travion Freshwater move, Freshwater going from defensive line to tight end.
Yes, we have moved Travion to tight end. It's the thing that we didn't get the opportunity with, particularly being 1 year into the program is, that spring practice last spring, a lot of spring practice is figuring out who can help you where. And so I think you're having a lot of that go on this fall. We've shuffled several of our young kids around. It was a deal where Travion was not, he was not overly competitive at the defensive tackle position throughout the fall. Certainly, Travion has, some God-given ability. And so he and I talked multiple times, and, the combination of, trying to continue to develop that tight end room. And I think Travion had a desire to get back to the offensive side of the football. And so it was kind of one of those things where there was a need there, and it was something that he was wanting to do. And so we've made that adjustment. It'll probably be a year or so before you see just, how that adjustment plays out, because the transition, it's going to take time to develop him there at that position. But certainly it was something that he was motivated to do, and I think it's something that will give us hopefully some additional depth there at that position.
Hoping Freshwater can make an impact at that position at some point. It will be later rather than sooner, it sounds like, according to Mike Houston. But he has made the shift from defense to offense for ECU. Hey, worked out for Vontae Leach, right? Who was a linebacker, moved over to fullback, running back for the Pirates, and had a lengthy, great career in the NFL. And, boy, it'd be nice to see Travion repeat that feat. All right, let's take a timeout. We'll come back. Stephen Igoe, Hoist the Colors, will join us to talk more Pirate football and more. We're back with you, Hour 2 of Pirate Radio Live. More to go after this.
Do you think you might have been exposed to COVID-19? Maybe you're planning to visit parents, family, or friends. Arc Point Labs of Greenville offers same-day COVID-19 results. No referral needed. Same-day results available. Arc Point Labs of Greenville offers easy solutions to COVID-19 testing. Arc Point Labs of Greenville is located across from Vidant Hospital on Executive Circle behind Southern Bank. Call for an appointment or walk in. Arc Point Labs of Greenville, 215-5688 or arcpointlabs.com.
Hi, this is Scott Muller with Clean Eats. Carol and I would like to personally thank all of you for supporting Clean Eats so well through these tough times. We are blessed to have such a great community helping us weather the storm. If you're having trouble consistently eating healthy, go to cleaneats.com and click on meal plans and give our tasty and affordable meals a try. Or stop by the cafe for lunch and let us show you just how simple and easy it is to get started and stay on track. Clean Eats, it's a lifestyle. 805 Red Banks Road, Arlington Village.
This just in, the holidays are not canceled. Now, back to you.
Thanks, Shirley. With the holidays approaching, it is time to plan those special end-of-the-year get-togethers with friends and coworkers at Emporium. Explore your pour at Emporium, Greenville's favorite place for private events. Emporium offers 52 self-pour taps, plus a nice selection of wine and champagne on tap as well. Book today by calling 565-8773 or visit Emporium.com and follow them on Instagram and Facebook. Emporium, Dickinson Avenue, downtown Greenville.
2020 certainly hasn't been the year many of us were hoping for, but one thing has stayed the same. I'm Tim Sutton with Greenville Auto World, and our commitment to our customers has never wavered. Let Greenville Auto World show you how easy it is to buy a quality used car in Greenville. We believe in fair prices, superior service, and treating customers right leads to satisfied repeat buyers. Your vehicle is a big investment, and our customers trust us to keep them up and running with outstanding service and value. With Greenville Auto World, cross from Hardee's at Bells Fork.
Did you know your small change can make a difference? The next time you visit McDonald's, please consider rounding up for the Ronald McDonald House. Your change adds up and can help many folks in Eastern North Carolina. Just $10 can provide a free night stay for families with sick children here in Eastern North Carolina and across the state. Just ask your cashier at checkout or choose to round up for RMHC when ordering through the McDonald's app. Thank you for visiting your local McDonald's owned by Dixon Foods and for your support of the Ronald McDonald House of Eastern North Carolina.
In studio today with Dr. Shondell Jones from Kinetic Physical Therapy. How can you help people with back pain?
Well, most people are going to have back pain at some point during their life, but you don't have to live with it. A bad MRI or a bad x-ray does not mean you're destined to always have pain. We have specialists that are well trained to find out what the true problem is and the true source of your pain so they can get you on track to feeling better. So don't suffer with back pain. Our nationally board certified specialists are here to help you. To learn more, visit us at kptonline.com. We can help you live well, move more, and hurt less.
Weekdays are a great time to visit North Carolina state parks. The best time to learn about nature is to be able to look, listen, and feel its natural beauty. A visit to the North Carolina state parks is perfect for homeschoolers, scout groups, and teachers looking for a fun field trip during the week. You'll be amazed at all the natural wildlife you'll see when you experience the beauty of each North Carolina state park. Visit ncparks.gov to get all the information on the closest park near you.
Hey, this is Jay from Villa Verde. Did you know that Villa Verde opened up its second location? Yes, it's Villa Verde Dos on Arlington Boulevard across the hospital. This new location is a fast, casual environment where you can make your own bowls for only $9.95. Choose from our fresh ingredients from our toppings bars or enjoy an amazing rotisserie chicken. We promise you can be in and out in less than 15 minutes. For a quick, healthy meal at an affordable price, visit us at Villa Verde Dos on Arlington Boulevard. Villa Verde, a platform for good.
This is Coach Steve Shankweiler, offensive line coach for East Carolina University football, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 2 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by Bud Light, reminding Pirate fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Well, welcome back. With approximately 100 locations throughout the Carolinas, First National Bank is helping both individuals and businesses redefine convenience in banking. Visit us today at fnb-online.com. First National Bank, member FDIC. Now let's head back in to Pirate Radio Live. Here's your host, Clip Barat.
All right, back with you on PRL here on a Tuesday. We will make you and you a winner coming up in Hour 3. That's right, 2 giveaways on a 2 for Tuesday here on Pirate Radio Live. Got that coming up. Got Dan Hoard on the way as well. Later on in hour number 3, the play-by-play voice of the Cincinnati Bearcats. Right now, we will talk more about Friday night's game with Stephen Igoe from Hoist the Colors. He joins us on the Fixed NC Live line. Igoe, how you doing, man?
Doing pretty good, Clip. How about yourself?
I cannot complain. Stephen, let's pick up right where we left off last segment. And the final cut we played from Mike Houston from yesterday was him answering your question, I believe, about Travion Freshwater's move from the defensive line to tight end. Robert on Facebook Live being facetious and says a need ... We have 25 tight ends. Right now, we have Zach Bird, Shane Calhoun playing. Jeremy Lewis has been mostly out of the lineup this year for ECU. And also the transfer from Oklahoma not playing this year, but he is a tight end as well, correct?
Yeah. Ryan Jones, who was supposed to be on the team this year, didn't get. I think he came one credit short in his graduate transfer attempt, so he completed that, or he is completing that class right now. But he is projected to play tight end here. You know, as it stands right now, counting freshwater, you have 4 scholarship tight ends, which really isn't that many. I think that's about kind of what you would want. But you do have 2 more guys coming in with freshwater also moving there, because you not only have Ron Jones coming in, but you've got a guy who's committed in Jacob Coleman, who's projected to play tight end. So you could have 6 tight ends scholarship-wise on next year's team.
More likely, though, you know, somebody's leaving or somebody's being moved, right? I mean, that's a pretty large room now for a position that hasn't been an impact position for ECU since 2015 when Bryce Williams was here as a senior. You know, I don't know. Yeah. A lot of cooks in that kitchen right now.
Yeah, and I just don't, you know, I don't know how Travion is going to transition to that position. I mean, it's going to take him at least a year to get to the range where he is able to play that position. I mean, he's listed at, 270 right now. You know, I just don't think he can play tight end at that size. You know, Zach Bird is one thing. He's 6'7", 6'8". Travion Freshwater is 6'1". I mean, there's not too many 6'1", 270-pound tight ends out there. So he's going to have to get back down to almost his high school weight of being 240, 250 before he can kind of transition to that position. And then I don't know how his hands are. You know, we saw him run the football in high school, but he just did that more with his power more so than like burst or vision. So,
yeah.
It's an interesting move. I mean, it's just one we're going to have to wait to see play out. But you mentioned all those tight ends. Really, Shane Calhoun, the freshman, he kind of looks like he's the best receiving tight end. Of course, we haven't hardly seen him catch the ball, but based on everything the coaches have told us, and if he's the best receiving tight end as a freshman, then you kind of wonder how much the other guys are going to play in these big roles in time. But you at least need 3 to 4 guys in that room. It'll just be interesting to see how it transpires.
I guess he's now, the second player that was from Eastern North Carolina coming in on the defensive side of the ball, moved to tight end. Jeremy Lewis was projected, a defensive end, a defensive player, and then when the coaching change happened and Mike Houston and his staff came in, they moved him to tight end pretty quickly.
Yeah, they watched his film and they said, hey, this guy can probably help us more at tight end than defensive end. And I look at the roster now, and if they keep building up this tight end position, how it's going, I almost wonder if you move Jeremy Lewis back to defensive end. I mean,
right.
They have for sure that they've got enough defensive tackles.
Yeah.
Which is why they moved Travion, part of probably why. But they don't really have many premier edge rushers right now, and I thought coming out of high school, Jeremy could have been that. He seems to be an ideal fit for that 3-4 outside linebacker position. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but maybe in the offseason, if they don't sign maybe a transfer or a JUCO kid who they feel can come in and play that role right away and add some pass rush, maybe they at least look at it. But who knows? I mean, that's something that, like Mike Houston said, you usually do that stuff in spring practice and not in the fall, but they didn't have spring practice.
Stephen Igoe joining us on the Fixed NC Live line. Igoe, you got a lot of numbers right now at the defensive line position, and I was told that that will be the case next year and the year after when it comes to the offensive line. I guess there's going to be some offensive linemen coming in. I understand. I was told too that Igoe they are looking at the transfer route and perhaps the junior college transfer route when it comes to O linemen to try to build up this roster. Is that what through recruiting that they're going to try to add a lot at the O line position for next season?
Yeah, that looks like the goal. I mean, they have 2 high school kids committed right now, but they have probably 7 or 8 junior college offers out to offensive linemen right now, including 3 alone at Coffeyville Community College in Kansas. They've got a few out to other schools in Kansas. I think a few in the Mississippi region, and so they are clearly kind of looking all over the place for offensive linemen. The one good thing, we've been back and forth on how much JUCO offensive linemen help you over the years on your show, Clip, but I think the one positive of the COVID situation and kind of everybody getting an extra year, that extends to junior college as well. And so a lot of these guys that you would only get for maybe 2 years, you're going to have the opportunity to get them for 3 or 4. coming from JUCO, and that's a big deal. You're not only getting a bigger, more experienced guy, but you're getting that extra year of eligibility. You can redshirt him. You can play him right away and still have 2 or 3 years after that. So I think that's kind of more why they're looking at the JUCO ranks, along with a couple of good high school kids they have. But the other thing too is what's going to happen with the seniors in this offensive line class for ECU. Is Deontay Smith, is he looking coming back?
Mm-hmm.
Justin Chase, the NC State grad transfer, he's played pretty well. What happens to Fernando Fry and Sean Bailey? So those are things that they're going to have to work out and hopefully find an answer to sooner rather than later, so they know how to construct the roster.
And, we can speculate on this show. It's kind of what we do sometimes. How much of that Igoe is going to be the player's decision? How much might it be the coach's decision when it comes to those things? Who's back, who's not back?
Yeah, that's a good question. How much of it is going to be the administration decision in terms of how many scholarship players you can have?
Yeah.
So, I'm sure John Gilbert and Mike Houston have had preliminary conversations there, but it's something that I think is still kind of in flux. If you're ECU, obviously you normally have 85 scholarships. If you have 15 seniors, you could technically have around 100 scholarships or so, based on how the rules are written. But then you're talking about $30,000 a pop for each scholarship, or they're in a ballpark figure. So, yeah, that's just that's a lot of money for ECU, which is clearly losing money like mostly every university and institution right now. So something they got to work out, and I don't think you'll see this entire senior class come back, but I do think you'll see at least a handful or so.
Stephen Igoe, Hoist the Colors, joining us today on Pirate Radio Live. Igoe, I got a battle going on in my brain right now because my first thought of this game on Friday, I really felt this way right after the game Saturday. ECU is going to put together a much stronger performance against Cincinnati. They're going to bounce back. They're going to be competitive. The problem is the opponent, Cincinnati, and I saw you tweet it out, and diving into the numbers, they're giving up 10 points a game in conference games, and that includes allowing 13, 10, and 10 to SMU, Memphis, and Houston. Those are some dynamic, high-powered offenses, and Cincinnati has just shut them down. So, again, I think the Pirates are going to play better this Friday, but what does that even mean? What does that mean for a score when you have a Cincinnati team that is just blowing everybody out and absolutely shutting down opposing offenses? And, I was thinking about this when I heard your question about Holton Ahlers and running the football. Is that something they can incorporate this week? They're going to have to figure something out, Igoe, to move this football against Cincinnati, who does not allow you to move the football a lot.
Yeah, it's almost amazing. I went back and looked at last year's box score, and I knew ECU had a big day offensively in that Cincinnati game, but I forgot just how dominant they were on offense. And last year's Cincinnati defense was really good too. The only other team that really took it to them like that was Ohio State, and then Memphis a little bit. But ECU put up the most points on them last year, the most yards, etc. And really, it's the same exact personnel back on their defense. I think they returned 9 starters. Now, they were missing one of their safeties, James Wiggins, from that game. He's a key player, but the same cornerbacks, the same defensive line, many of the same linebackers, and ECU was able to just do what it wanted. Now, I went back and watched some of the highlights. Holton Ahlers, he just played out of his mind. A number of those big plays, C.J. Johnson, Cincinnati had great coverage on, and both of those guys just made heroic plays. And really, that's what you have to do. They're going to be in the, you can do some creative stuff. Like you said, maybe you drop some stuff with, with Keaton Mitchell on the edge, some reverses to Tyler Snead, some runs to Holton Ahlers, but you're just going to have to step up and make some phenomenal plays. That's what C.J. Johnson did last year. We've got to really see that consistency from him this year. Your best players are going to have to play incredible if you're going to have a chance to win, and they did it on offense last year and weren't able to do it on defense, and I think that's just the thing. The good thing is they should have confidence going into this game. If you're Holton Ahlers, and I'd be honestly a little pissed off that you outplayed him so much last year and really blew it. Maybe that's a little added motivation, but Cincinnati's going to have so much motivation on their side. They've got so much on the line, a college football playoff contention spot, obviously an American championship. So ECU's got to find a way to match their motivation and intensity, which won't be easy.
Yeah, and how were they able to be in the game, to have a lead against Tulsa, strong defense, and putting your offense in good scoring positions, and that's what the Pirates did against Tulsa. They'll need to do that this Friday. How about that matchup, Igoe? And, the defense took a step back on Saturday, allowing the freshman Pratt to throw the football, allowing Tulane to run the football as well. Can this defense play well enough to keep ECU in the game on Friday night?
Yeah, that's the thing that after the last few games, things starts to worry you. Is the pass defense for ECU hasn't been that bad. The corners, if you think about it, are in the right spot a lot of times. It's the linebackers and safeties have been a little inconsistent in pass coverage, but it's been the run defense the past two games that have really concerned you, especially the last game and a half. Tulsa started to really find some gaps in that ECU defense in the second half. And then I thought Tulane did a great job. They knew ECU was going to come out and try to stop the run. And what do? They go pass, to start the game, really get ECU's defense on his heels. And then it just seemed like ECU could never recover. And then they started, ECU started to over-pursue later in the game because I think they were trying to stop the run so much. And then once Tulane broke the line of scrimmage, there were just huge holes there because the linebackers weren't there. So I think that ECU's got to go back to some basics defensively against the run, find a way to stop those huge runs from happening because those are just backbreakers. And that's what Cincinnati does. I mean, they ran for 340-plus against Houston. Their running back, Jared Dokes, is just a beast. He's 6 foot, 230 pounds, and he can run. We know what Desmond Ritter can do as a runner and a passer. I mean, he ran all over ECU last year, especially on that final drive to lead to the game-winning field goal. So they're going to have to stop the run on Friday to have a chance, and that's been a big problem for the majority of the season. Until they figure that out, teams are going to have a lot of success against them.
I'm going to ask Blake Harrell about the progression Ritter has made as a passer, but certainly watching him in the past, and I haven't watched a ton of Ritter this year, but I'm way more worried about him running the football than throwing the football. Have you watched him at all this year? How much has he grown as a passer, Igoe?
I've watched him a game or two. I mean, I think he's always been, I'll say, a capable passer. He's inconsistent, but I mean, he's got good arm talent. He's just a little inaccurate at times, and his decision making isn't the best. But I remember that game at Cincinnati 2 years ago, when Scotty Montgomery's last game, where ECU did nothing but challenge Cincinnati to beat them through the air, and he just lit up ECU with some big passing plays, some explosive passing plays. I can't remember the receiver that had a big day, but he is certainly capable of beating you through the air, so it's not like you can only take away the run. I mean, he's done it in the past. Granted, if you're ECU, you have to almost say, do we take away the run or the pass, and you have to try to take away the run because of how Cincinnati is. But, they've got a solid stable of receivers. One of their top receivers, I think, is supposed to be back this week, who's missed some time. Pierce is his last name. So, we'll see, but they're just really good. They don't have many weaknesses. They don't beat themselves. Ritter had some turnover problems earlier in his career, but he seems to have remedied that. They're just really solid all the way around. So it's going to be tough to defend.
Igoe, we're sports fans. We see it every week in the NFL. It's impossible to predict and even pick games straight up. And the same can happen in college if you're not like a Bama or whatever, that you have your ups and downs. And we're talking about humans. We're talking about college aged adults, young adults that are inconsistent. And 2 weeks ago on the fifth quarter, despite the loss, we got calls saying ECU is back. The Pirates are back. Mike Houston is getting it done. Then after the loss at Tulane, to Tulane on Saturday, we're not going anywhere. This is bad. I'm out of patience. I can't wait anymore. We stink. So it is very week to week. I understand why Pirate fans want to see wins. I do too. We just haven't seen a lot of those over the last few years. But as you hoist the colors, what's the state of the Pirate fan base in your opinion right now? Are they still being patient and seeing signs of progress, or was that too many steps back on Saturday that now people are starting to question whether this thing actually is going in the right direction?
Well, you're right. I mean, it's always so week to week, and that's our job as sports writers and sports commentators is to react to what we saw and is what's most fresh in our minds. So, like, we have to overreact. We overreact probably in a bad way to the Tulane game, just like we overreacted in a good way to the Tulsa game. Like, ECU is probably somewhere in the middle in terms of this rebuild. I mean, the toughest thing is ECU. I mean, if they were 3-3 right now instead of 1-5, this would be so much easier.
Yeah, and
you could just chalk it up to, hey, this is a team. This is still a young team. They're going to have ups and downs, and instead they're 1-5, and so you've lost 3 in a row instead of winning that Navy and Tulsa game, which completely changes everybody's thinking to an extent. So I've said from the beginning, we had this conversation at the beginning of the year. Not going to say that results don't matter, Clip, but I always say I'm still looking at the process more than the results this year, just with the youth of the team. So I want to see them bounce back and be competitive this Friday night. They don't have to go out and win the game, but I don't want to see 2 bad performances in a row, because then you start to worry about maybe you're losing the team for the stretch of this year, and that's when you start to lose maybe the progress during the process. So I want to see them bounce back with a vengeance, some key young players step up and make some big plays. I want to see the coaching staff make some adjustments. I thought the Tulane game was really one of the first times during the Mike Houston era that I thought ECU was out-coached by a pretty wide margin. It just seemed like Tulane knew it was coming. They were much better prepared. Their players executed at a much higher level as a result. So I want to see what changes ECU staff can make, and then also the personnel. How do the guys bounce back? Do they accept this as a challenge on Friday night and embrace it that way, or do they say, oh, man, we got to go on a short week on the road to Cincinnati and get our tails kicked again? So there's still a lot to look forward to each week. I know the fans are getting tired of the losing, and there's a lot of frustration, and I get it, but I try to just take each game how it is with the process and evaluate it that way. But it's easy to say that now that we're, 3 days removed from the game. Right after the game, it was pretty fresh, and it's pretty frustrating. So it is what it is, unfortunately.
All right, final question, Igoe, and if you need more time to think about it, I can ask you again on Thursday, but as we are winding down the rest of 2020 in this regular season, is there anybody on the roster that has not seen significant time, has not made an impact that you would like to see, or that you think will have an impact here these last few games? Anybody, as we start to maybe see more young guys get a little game time experience, anybody you're excited to see that hasn't been showcased yet in 2020?
That's a good question. I mean, there's a whole bunch of them, honestly, along the defensive line that haven't played yet. I could go on listing them for days, but, like a Javier McCray, even Keziah Everett was dressed out last game, Deontay Johnson, Jason Shuford, like all these guys are freshmen, near 300 pounds that are going to play in time. I don't know if they're going to play the stretch run of this season or not. We talked about Sean Tucker at cornerback. He's played some special teams, but I really think he's a guy, once he gets a year under his belt, just like David Laney in the secondary, will play a lot of snaps for ECU. So, I mean, I look at this entire freshman class, and I think it was a home run based off what I've heard and seen. I just think they need time to develop them. And even a guy like Taji Hudson, who's learning receiver right now, I'm excited to see him once he develops. So I think the thing is, with this team being so young, we've almost seen all the young players already play, and they're just continuing to get better. But there's a whole nother wave of guys who just need a year in the weight room kind of before we see them out there. And hopefully this staff can get a full off season, because they badly need it and they deserve it.
Stephen Igoe, Hoist the Colors, good stuff as always, Igoe. We'll check you out on hoistthecolors.net, and we'll talk to you again here on Pirate Radio Live on Thursday.
All right, Clip.
Thank you, man. All right, there's Igoe joining us to wrap up hour number 2 of Pirate Radio Live. When we return, we'll kick off hour 3, and we have 2 big giveaways coming up in hour 3. We'll open up the Pirate Radio booty bag twice. Little 2 for Tuesday. Got Dan Hoard coming up around 5:30. Before that, we talked to Shane Carden last week inside the Pirate Radio Zoom room. If you missed it, we'll play that for you here on Pirate Radio Live as I got a chance to catch up with the captain. That and more on the way on PRL. We're back with you after this.
This is Martin Truex Jr., and as a NASCAR Cup Series champion, I love one-stop shopping. When I need fresh tires or fuel during a race, my pit crew takes care of everything. Off the track, I have an Auto Owners independent agent. They handle all my insurance in one place: car, home, life, and business. Get your own pit crew and find a local agency with Auto Owners Insurance.
This is Jeff Gibson with Town Insurance in Greenville. Call me today at 756-8300. Go Pirates!
Hello, Pirate Nation. This is Corey Scott, former ECU Baseball All-American. During my playing days, I specialized on the field as a closer. Now, as your mortgage loan officer, I am once again specializing in closing. But this time, I am closing for you, not just the Pirates. At Movement Bank, we offer portfolio loans such as 100% doctor loans with no PMI, home equity lines of credit, and jumbo loans, all at historically low rates. Contact me today, and I will be your closer. Call Coach Corey at 378-5252. That's 378-5252. And go Pirates.
2020 certainly hasn't been the year many of us were hoping for, but one thing has stayed the same. I'm Tim Sutton with Greenville Auto World, and our commitment to our customers has never wavered. Let Greenville Auto World show you how easy it is to buy a quality used car in Greenville. We believe in fair prices, superior service, and treating customers right leads to satisfied repeat buyers. Your vehicle is a big investment, and our customers trust us to keep them up and running with outstanding service and value. For Greenville Auto World, cross from Hardee's at Bells Fork.
University Book Exchange, UBE-ECU, University Book Exchange.
UBE and PirateWear.com offers a large selection of ECU apparel. There's a new selection of hats, t-shirts, and tailgate supplies. Plus, the online store at PirateWear.com has been redesigned to serve you better. UBE and PirateWear.com, located in the heart of Uptown Greenville and proud supporters of the Pirates for over 35 years.
Chico's Mexican Restaurant is the home of the best margaritas. Grab your amigos and head to Chico's every Tuesday for the Gulf of Mexico, a huge 46-ounce lime margarita for only $6.99. On Thursdays, relax and enjoy half-price pitchers of Chico's house margaritas. Choose from lime, strawberry, blood orange, raspberry, or peach. For Mexican food and fun, it's got to be Chico's Mexican Restaurant in downtown Greenville and online at chicosrestaurant.com. Chico's, where the fiesta never ends.
Bostic Sugg Furniture is overstacked and overstocked. Overflowing inventory means clear out prices. Hurry in and take advantage of the biggest and best deals throughout our showroom. Save up to 20% off the best furniture brands: Lazy Boy, Bassett, Kincaid, Rowe, and Restonic mattresses. Plus, just for this sale, 12 months special financing or choose 48 months special financing. There's savings on top of savings. We're overstacked and overstocked, and that means big savings for you at Bostic Sugg Furniture.
Cold weather is here, and some families in our area need help to stay warm. Greenville Utilities' Neighbor to Neighbor program provides help for those who need temporary assistance with their heating costs. You can make a difference. Your tax-deductible donation can be added to your GUC bill each month, or you can make a one-time donation. And GUC matches all donations up to $20,000 each year. Consider helping a neighbor stay warm this winter with GUC's Neighbor to Neighbor program. For more information, call 752-7166 or visit GUC.com.
It's the season for warmer clothes, hot apple cider, and changing leaves. But what doesn't change and what won't change is our commitment to your complete satisfaction each and every time you visit our dealership. Phelps Chevrolet in Greenville. Complete customer satisfaction isn't just a seasonal thing, it's delivered every day. That's why we are the place to find your next truck or SUV. Come in and get you one. Phelps Chevrolet. Visit today or see us on the web.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington. You're listening to Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by First National Bank. With approximately 100 locations throughout the Carolinas, First National Bank is helping both individuals and businesses redefine convenience in banking. Visit us today at fnb-online.com. First National Bank, member FDIC. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Quality Equipment is your full-service John Deere dealer with 27 locations to serve you. Quality Equipment is open in Winterville next to Sam's Club, or visit qualityequip.com to find the location near you. Now let's head back in to Pirate Radio Live. Here's your host, Clip Rock.
All right, Hour 3 on tap for Pirate Radio Live. We'll talk some Cincinnati Bearcats football with Dan Hoard coming up later on this hour. We will make two of you winners. Pirate Radio Booty Bag 2 for Tuesday coming up today. So got that coming up this hour. Also, my interview, my Zoom with Shane Carden from last week as we talked to the captain following the Tulsa game about bad calls, rallying together after bad calls, and talked about Shane Carden, the coach, as he's coaching high school football now. So you'll hear that coming up as well. In hour number 3 of Pirate Radio Live, we'll take a timeout, come back, and kick it off after this.
At Tiebreakers, we pride ourselves on serving
big, juicy wings.
I'm talking
big and juicy.
Our chickens are the same ones that kick sand in the other chickens' faces. If our chickens played football, they'd be linebackers. The competition's chickens, they'd be
skinny little kickers.
Trade those kickers in for linebackers.
Tiebreakers is open every day at 11 a.m. Follow Tiebreakers on Facebook and Instagram for daily updates.
If you are push mowing your yard using an inefficient lawn tractor, or your current zero-turn spends more time in the shop than mowing your grass, it's time you look at a Hustler zero-turn lawnmower. Residential mowers from Hustler are built like tanks and drive like sports cars. All Hustler mowers have fabricated, welded steel decks. Don't settle on cheap units with flimsy stamped decks from big box stores. Come see Ron Ayers Motorsports. It will guide you to the right mower for your property and your budget. Find us at Ron Ayers Motorsports, Highway 11, north of the airport in Greenville.
This is Dr. Chris Hasty from Orthopedics East and Sports Medicine Center of Greenville. We have been the team physicians for ECU Athletics for over 35 years. We offer a variety of services for the athlete, including non-operative and operative care, including the latest in arthroscopic surgery, physical therapy, and diagnostic testing. For experienced and professional care for athletes of all ages, visit our offices on W.H. Smith Boulevard in Greenville or online at orthoeast.com. Orthopedics East, providing complete care for ECU and athletes of all ages.
Here with Mike Mullis from Fixed NC. And Mike, you were telling me the other day, people ask you all the time, I didn't know you did that. What does that mean?
You know, anything that involves property damage repair, call us first. If it's your crawl space, you've got interior humidity issues, a water loss, your ice maker line breaks, obviously fire and smoke, everybody knows we do those, but anything that involves interior or exterior property damage, we're your repair experts.
Mike, how can everybody get in touch with you?
252-999-0001 or fixednc.com.
Hi, this is Luke Kuechly. Last season, I was captain on defense. This season, since so many of us will be watching football from home, I'm football watching with Pepsi. And you know me, I pour everything I've got into it. All right, football watchers, let's do this. Opening click-offs. Here we go. Click on, click off. Click on, click off. Stretch that thumb. You can't have finger fatigue bringing you down in the postseason. Nice job. And my favorite, second half sip-offs. Pepsi's up, lift, pull, open. Ice cold Pepsi and watching football. Nothing better.
It's not game day without a delicious, refreshing Pepsi, the official soft drink of the National Football League. Head to your nearest retailer, grab your Pepsi before kickoff, then sit back, relax, and cheer on your favorite team. Pepsi, made for football watching.
Hi, this is Billy Parker, and football is here. Tailgate at home with family and friends this season and let Parker's Barbecue do all the cooking. While tailgating at your house, let us provide all the food with our delicious chicken, barbecue, seafood, and sides. We can customize packages for any size group, big or small. Give us a call today and place your order. Parker's and football, a winning combination. Also shipping nationwide at parkersbbq.com. Parker's Barbecue is how friends and family come together.
White Claw Hard Seltzer. Discover a new wave of refreshment. Crafted using seltzer water, 5% alcohol, and a hint of fruit. Available in 5 fruit flavors, 2 grams of carbs, gluten-free, and 100 calories. Find it at whiteclaw.com. White Claw Hard Seltzer. Nothing tastes quite like it. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with natural flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, 2019 Chicago. Visit whiteclaw.com for full nutritional information.
This is Coach Blake Carroll, defense coordinator for East Carolina football, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by First National Bank. With approximately 100 locations throughout the Carolinas, First National Bank is helping both individuals and businesses redefine convenience in banking. Visit us today at fnb-online.com. First National Bank, member FDIC. Now back to the show.
Welcome back. Tiebreakers is open every day at 11 a.m. and is the best place to watch your favorite sports while enjoying the best wings in town. They also have sandwiches, appetizers, and cold beer, and a whole lot more. Follow Tiebreakers on Facebook and Instagram for daily updates. And taking a look at your stock market report, it was another mixed day. The Dow was up 262 points and closed at 29,420. The NASDAQ, however, fell 159 points and closed at 11,553. The S&P is down 4 at 3,535, or 45 rather. That is your Wells Fargo Advisors financial report. For a personal look into investing, call Wells Fargo Advisors today at 756-6900 in Greenville. Wells Fargo Advisors, LLC, member SIP. Let me try that again. Member SIPC. Now let's head back into Pirate Radio Live. Playing the drums. Here's Clip.
I really like the Foo Fighters.
Of course.
Great band. Great band. Charlie, I saw a tweet that said, what do non-college football fans do on fall Saturdays asking for SEC fans? Because Alabama, LSU, A&M, Tennessee, and Auburn, Mississippi State have been postponed this weekend.
And Missouri and Georgia teetering on that postponement ledge as well. You got to keep an eye on that one.
And let me check. I think Kentucky and Vanderbilt.
Yeah, that one's in jeopardy as well.
They're scheduled to play. I mean, what else is left in the SEC where it just means more? You're gonna have a lot of confused Southerners on Saturday. What do we do? What do we do with our time on this day? Let's see, Vandy. What are the other matchups? Arkansas, Florida is Saturday night. South Carolina, Ole Miss. So yeah, that's the Georgia, Missouri that you said was teetering right now, and then you got Vandy, Kentucky, Arkansas, Florida, South Carolina, Ole Miss. So still 4 games right now as we sit here on a Tuesday, but we shall see.
Yeah.
All right, let's hear a Zoom I did with Shane Carden last week, and we did this inside the Pirate Radio Zoom room. Presented by Cellular Warehouse and White Claw Hard Seltzer. And this came off the heels of ECU's loss to Tulsa, where, of course, every call and the reviews went the way of Tulsa that night. And we talked to Shane about that and a lot more. And here is how that sounded.
Wanted to get you on. Saw you tweet the other night when there was a lot of tweeting and complaining going on, and thought you had a good message at the end of that ECU-Tulsa game. You said, what a fight from this team. Everyone knows how bad those calls were. Good things are happening at ECU, whether the refs like it or not. I thought that was a good message. And I was kind of thinking about it, Shane. It's like when there's one common enemy, you kind of rally around together, and hopefully that's something this team can do, right, is kind of say it's us against the world. And
yeah, I think that's absolutely correct. And, you talk about us against the world, and it's almost like the world against the refs right now because for Pirate fans and for everyone on the same side to say those are bad calls, right? Like every once in a while, each side kind of says they got nicks on the call.
Yeah.
But when you have like ESPN announcers taking time out to talk about those calls and say that they were bad, and then for the league itself to come out and say that they were wrong, it's kind of like, all right, then yeah, they were really against us. And I think you're starting to see what I could kind of see at the beginning of the year, and I don't like to tweet too much unless it's something like this that really is like, wow, it's blatantly terrible.
Yeah, me neither. I don't really tweet that much either.
Well, Clip, unlike you, most people should not be tweeting. I think there should be some kind of test where people should pass to get to tweet, because there's a lot of bad tweets out there. Anyways, that's beside the point. But you kind of start seeing we talked about a bunch when I was there, the chip on the shoulder, right?
Yeah.
You kind of saw it growing earlier this year, and I was going to talk about that or tweet about that earlier this year, and I decided to hold my tongue. I just wanted to keep watching how the team progressed and kept going, and you see it building. And yeah, this sucks, and I'm sure Mike Houston's saying all the right things to his team, kind of just, hey, it is what it is now, move past it, grand scheme of things, don't let them come back that close. Don't give the game, don't let the referees be able to change the game. And you'd like to have the win, but, it's almost like that loss might have worked even more for this team moving forward. This year is going to be weird no matter what. COVID, building this and that. But I think there's something seriously growing, that chip on the shoulder of, you talked about us against the world, where this team seems to grasp that. And, the talent you can see is really coming up and getting there. And when you have that, when you have an attitude, when you are that good, but you just want to kind of say, we don't care about it, and the rest of you people talking or this or that, it's going to be fun to see what happens here in the next, I think, second half of the season or end of the season, how many more games they get because of COVID, but and then going into the next year.
Shane, I remember talking to you at the Pirate Radio kickoff party. I believe it was going into the James Madison game, like the season opener, and you were talking about how crucial that game was, because you put in work all off season, and you want some reward, some results to happen positively to show that your work is paying off. And you said if they don't win that game, it could be a long season. And sure enough, you were right. They did lose to Mike Houston and Donnie Kirkpatrick, of all people, in that game. But how about this, Shane? Like 2 weeks ago, ECU played hard against Navy. Maybe the best performance against Navy, but they didn't have Holt Nailers. They lose. Last week, they played good enough to win. The calls go against them. They lose. Are they getting enough positive reinforcement that they're close, that they don't just kind of say, all right, we're putting in this work, it's not paying off, why keep working this hard? You know what I'm saying? Like, is there enough positives right now that they can keep on going and eventually get that W?
Absolutely, I think so, because in both those games, in both the last two losses, you look at things that were a little weird, right? Like, Holton couldn't play against Navy because of what ended up was probably a false negative, right? You have that weird deal. And you can straight look at another team like Alabama with their coach getting multiple tests. Bolton didn't get that. Then you have these calls, and it's kind of like this thing where you just – I mean, I know that locker room feeling it. They're just pissed. You know what I mean? It's like at some point they're just going to have to cross that threshold of like, you know what? We don't care what you do to us. We don't care what call you make on us. We're just going to go make the next play. And I think, you kind of keep getting beat, and these guys are – have had some tough careers, but you see it changing. I think there's enough positive and there's enough weird things that have kind of caused some tough losses where it's like, you know what, screw the rest of everyone else. We're going to go do our thing, and we're not going to leave the game in the ref's hands. We now, let's say they get the same situation at halftime with Tulsa, right? You know what that halftime speech is. Hey, don't let the refs affect this game. We cannot let them come back in this, right? If it's the same situation. And I just think it'll be a totally different mindset.
Shane, do you remember a time when you were at ECU or playing high school football or in any part of football where I don't think the refs are on the take. I don't think anybody's getting paid. But when it's like going against you, have you ever felt that during a game? You're like, dude, give us one of these calls, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone that's played, coached, watched, everyone has had those games where you just feel like that. And that's kind of what I was talking about at the beginning. Like, everyone's had that, but when you have, like, outside sources that don't really have a skin in the game for ECU, like, for them to say it was a bad call, like that kind of deal. But, yeah, absolutely. And then I kind of thought back to a time where we kind of had some negativity that really boosted us into some great seasons. And I really look back my redshirt freshman year, wasn't playing, and we didn't go to a bowl game, and there was just like a lot of like not good. It it wasn't right. It wasn't there. And there was a lot of anger and frustration. And a couple of us just got in the locker room that offseason. We're like, you know what? We're not doing this again next year. We're going to be going to a bowl. We're going to win some games. We're going to figure out a way to do it. And the whole offseason was this whole like pissed off mindset. And I think it really catapulted us into those 3, pretty successful seasons. We could have won a few more games here and there, but you just kind of always see something like that kind of pisses off the team enough to really say enough is enough. We got to change something, and we're going to go do it. And I really think this is what's going on right now.
Talking to Coach Shane Carden out in Idaho. So, Shane, are you playing with no high school football, at least public schools here in North Carolina? How about you guys out in Idaho?
So we had 2 games we were to play. Our school board was holding our team, our school, under a different health metric than the rest of our league and the rest of the state, which is really tough. So we got a couple of games in, and I kind of feel the same way. I've been speaking about this whole offseason deal. I kind of feel the same way about my team right now. It's kind of like, hey, school boards have kind of held us back from playing. We have to go have the best offseason we ever had at school. And I'm looking at some kids. I got a lot of young leaders that I think are going to really lead my team in that way. And I'm looking forward to the next year.
I remember, I believe Steve and Igoe and I looked up the top recruits from Idaho on 24/7. And of course, they go to Boise State. They go to BYU, Pac-12. But you said you got a lot of guys you think can play at the next level. What is high school football like overall in the state of Idaho?
It's different. I mean, when I experienced, Texas high school football, which, as I say that, it's kind of like everyone knows. But, but I wasn't at a bigger school. It's turned into a big recruiting school now. There's good competition, man. And it's really hard to say, exactly how different is in North Carolina or this or that. I don't think the kids are quite as big, but I mean, it's high school football. There's some great athletes. I have a young quarterback, young receiver, young running back, and a group of freshmen that are coming in. That there's a couple of them I think go play. And I think the biggest thing as a coach that I have to put forward is, it's Boise State, BYU. It's great. D1 schools are awesome. There's a lot of options out there, and I think especially the social media age, these kids get so worked up when trying to get a D1 offer, this and that. I'm like, man, wherever you're playing on Saturday, Friday, Thursday night, wherever it is, that if you're playing at the next level, it's going to seem that big. And you're probably going to get your school paid for. And no matter what, you're leaving with a great experience of playing football at a level where kids will be taking the same, seriousness as you are. And I think that's what, I've tried to reiterate in my kids' minds. And when I had a kid last year go play at a D3 school in Minnesota who the year before was a junior, I didn't even know where to play him. And now he's getting to play some college football. So I think, if you get over the fact that, hey, it may not be D1, but it's still college football, then I think a lot more kids will go play.
Shane, you had a lot of success throwing the football, but also handing it to Coop and Breon. I'm sure you wanted to throw the ball 60 times a game as a quarterback. Now as a coach, do you realize why Riley and Ruff and those guys said, Shane, let's run it a few times to Coop here?
No, I got that. I understood that pretty often when I was at ECU as well. I wasn't quite as fast as some of those running backs, but yeah, I mean, absolutely. You gotta have a balanced offense enough, and then you really change it to what personnel you have, and I think that's what Riley did really well. I mean, Cooper as a running back and Breon as running back were totally different receivers, or running backs, right? Totally different styles, and we use them differently. A little more power with Coop and a little more finding, space for Breon to run. But I go back a lot, and I say one of the best plays I've ever seen while I was there was the handoff to Breon on 3rd and forever. It went for a touchdown. Yeah. And I'll show that clip to my players now, and I'm like, man, it's 3rd and 30, right? That play changed the entire game. All right, you had, Isaiah, it was Isaiah at the time, Isaiah Jones, blocking 40 yards down the field, pancake his guys in the end zone. Breon kept working. Linemen are full speed sprinting down the field. I mean, that's what separated that game. It was we just we wanted to win so freaking bad that our receivers are blocking down the field that bad, or linemen are running down the field, or running backs just hey, 3rd and whatever. I'm not taking this as we're just kind of running the ball. I'm gonna try to go score, and that was always our mindset when we got rolling like that. That's what made us good.
You show that play, and then you show your touchdown catch in the bowl game.
That's right. Yeah, that one was pretty good too. I definitely have posted that one a few times.
Shane Carden there inside the Pirate Radio Zoom room to see that in its entirety. You can check it out on YouTube, Pirate Radio TV. Check it out there. Also, it's on our social media sites, Facebook and Twitter as well. Great to catch up with the captain, and good to see he's doing well. And now, last week when I talked to Shane, the talk was about rallying around a bad call and rallying together as one unit against the officials. Now they need to rally back from a bad performance. That's what they're coming off this week against Tulane, and still the Bearcats of Cincinnati, a big favorite Friday night when they will take on the Pirates at Nippert Stadium. We will learn more about Cincinnati coming up next segment with Dan Hoard, the voice of the Bearcats. Tell you what, Shirley Rhodes, since we got to double down today, we probably should make somebody a winner right now.
Booty, 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 booty everywhere. Booty, 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 booty everywhere.
So what are we doing? Familia?
Yeah, let's do $40 gift card to Familia.
Big prize on the line. 317-1250. We will go caller 12 here. Caller 12, 317-1250. $40 gift card to Familia, one of my favorite spots. And you can enjoy it yourself if you're caller 12 right now. 317-1250. We're back with Dan Hoard after this.
CD's Grill in Winterville wants to thank you for all of your support during these crazy times. CD's Grill has the area's best country cooking, and you can come and enjoy a down-home breakfast or one of our daily country lunch specials at CD's Grill.
CD's now has an incredible lunch special from 11 till 2 every Saturday. Choose from 2 hot dogs, cheeseburger, or chicken sandwich with fries and a drink for only $4.99 at CD's Grill every Saturday.
CD's Grill, 111 West Fire Tower Road in Winterville.
For the latest from the world of golf, tune in every Saturday morning from 8 to 10 for the Golf Shop Radio Show, presented by GolfKnickers.com, the world's leader in traditional golf apparel. Hosts Mark Greenhelge and Matt Blanchard talk golf from tee to green and everything in between. If you like golf, you're going to love Golf Shop Radio. Before you tee up, drop on in. Welcome to the Golf Shop.
This just in, the holidays are not canceled. Now, back to you.
Thanks, Shirley. With the holidays approaching, it is time to plan those special end-of-the-year get-togethers with friends and coworkers at Emporium. Explore your pour at Emporium, Greenville's favorite place for private events. Emporium offers 52 self-pour taps, plus a nice selection of wine and champagne on tap as well. Book today by calling 565-8773 or visit Emporium.com and follow them on Instagram and Facebook. Emporium, Dickinson Avenue, downtown Greenville.
Great food, great atmosphere, and great service is Ottavola Market Cafe. Ottavola is simply a restaurant that focuses on that, being a great restaurant. There's something for everyone at Ottavola. The menu offers a variety of great choices like pastas, pizzas, sandwiches, soups, salads, and seasonal rotating selections. Lunch or dinner, Ottavola is always the right call. Call ahead and get Ottavola to go, or stop by the bar for a drink with friends. It's simple. Come and eat at Ottavola Market Cafe, Red Banks Road next to Food Lion, and OttavolaMarket.com. Ottavola, pirates supporting pirates.
Bostic Sugg Furniture is overstacked and overstocked. Overflowing inventory means clear out prices. Hurry in and take advantage of the biggest and best deals throughout our showroom. Save up to 20% off the best furniture brands: Lazy Boy, Bassett, Kincaid, Rowe, and Restonic mattresses. Plus, just for this sale, 12 months special financing or choose 48 months special financing. There's savings on top of savings. We're overstacked and overstocked, and that means big savings for you at Bostic Sugg Furniture.
It's bow time.
The barbecue sandwich from Bojangles is back. Wait, Bojangles has barbecue?
Yeah, keep going.
Well, okay then. We're talking tender pulled pork with a tangy Carolina vinegar kick, unforgettably topped with our country coleslaw, all on perfectly toasted buns. So if you're like me and missed it last time, get your hands on a barbecue sandwich combo pronto.
It's bow time.
This is Mark Washington with Max Sports Performance at Max Fitness.
Our facility has reopened and is following all safety protocols. The best thing you can do to strengthen your immune system is, of course, to work out and exercise on a regular basis. I can assist you as your performance coach. You can also enjoy the benefits of a private facility. Avoid the crowds and work out at Max Fitness. Now is the time to get healthy. Max Fitness, just off Highway 43 in the old Ace Hardware building behind Speedway in Greenville. Call me, Mark Washington, 902-4877.
If you thought you saw the last of double cheeseburger pizza, think again, because it's back at Papa John's again. Get a large double cheeseburger pizza for just $12. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Hey, Pirate fans, order the new double cheeseburger pizza for only $12. The new cheeseburger pizza is an MVP move for game day or any day. Place your order online at papajohns.com and sign up for Papa Rewards. Papa John's, the official pizza of the ECU Pirates.
Hey everybody, this is David Glenn, and you're listening to my favorite station in Eastern North Carolina, Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by First National Bank. With approximately 100 locations throughout the Carolinas, First National Bank is helping both individuals and businesses redefine convenience in banking. Visit us today at fnb-online.com. First National Bank, member FDIC. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. When your AC needs repair or replacing, call on the reliable service professionals of Delcor Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Go to DelcorInc.com or give them a call at 252-321-8868. Delcor, the service professionals in Greenville. And congratulations to Bob Morfitt of Winterville. Picked up a $40 gift card courtesy of Familia. Get your sports weekend started at Familia. Every Thursday, Familia has $2 drafts all day. You can stop by with your friends and family for some New York-style pizza and have an ice-cold $2 draft. Familia is located on Fire Tower Road near Pitt Community College and FamiliaNC.com. Now let's head back into Pirate Radio Live. Here is your host, Clip Brock.
All right, big win Bob there, and we've got another giveaway coming up after this interview with Dan Hoard. So stick around for that. Coming up, we'll make you a winner once again here on Pirate Radio Live. We'll head out to the Fixed NC Live line now and talk to the play-by-play voice of the Bearcats and the Bengals. He is Dan Hoard, joining us once again on Pirate Radio Live. Dan, thanks for your time again. How you doing today?
Clip, I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing great, Dan. Looking forward to seeing the Cincinnati team coming up Friday night, and where to begin with this Bearcats team. Well, start with the number beside the name, Dan, and you know, coaches and fans and different people have different opinions on the rankings. Do they matter? Do they not matter? I'm sure the school and university wants to put that out as much as possible. How much does Luke Fickell, how much do the coaches and players talk about that 7 beside their name, Dan, as they've been able to put together an undefeated season so far this year?
They don't talk about it at all. They have been well drilled not to really talk about that when asked about it by the media. Now, keep in mind that interview opportunities are not as frequent as they used to be in the coronavirus era. But in any case, it really isn't something that they talk about, at least publicly.
Dan, the defensive numbers are incredible, and we talked about it earlier in the show. In conference play, Cincinnati giving up 10 points a game, and South Florida's having a down year. Jeff Scott will get them right eventually, but to give up 13 to SMU, 10 to Memphis, 10 to Houston, those are some really high-powered offenses. How has this defense been able to really put the stranglehold on everybody so far this season?
They are good at every level. They have no real weakness. I thought going into the season, linebacker was going to be a big question mark because they lost 2 first-team all-conference linebackers from last year. They got pretty much everybody back, but linebacker has not been a problem at all, and they are so deep up front and in the secondary. The secondary in particular, I've never seen anything like it in college football now. You know, I didn't work at Ohio State or USC or Notre Dame or some of the traditional powerhouses. But certainly Cincinnati has never had a secondary this deep.
Dan, you talk about how deep they are across the board, and you got to give credit to Luke Fickell, what he's been able to do with this program. Has it been mostly recruiting and retention of those recruits, or have they hit the transfer market? How has this team been assembled, especially on the defensive side?
mostly recruiting high school players. They have a small smattering of transfers, but that's not really something that they want to get into on a regular basis. Luke Fickell says he will only recruit transfers if he already has a connection to that player. So the handful of transfers that they have on the roster are all guys where a member of the Cincinnati coaching staff already had a pre-existing relationship with that player. So these are mostly high school guys. There's a lot of high school talent in the Cincinnati area and in Ohio in general. Coach Fickell is getting those guys, and he's got a great staff that's coaching them up.
Talking to Dan Hoard on the Fix NC Live line. Dan, as a unit, very strong. How about a few individuals Pirate fans should watch out for on Friday night? Who are who will be the household names on that Cincinnati defense?
Let's start up front with Myjai Sanders, number 21. He's the best pass rusher on the team. I saw that NFL draft guru Dane Brugler in a column earlier today ranked him as the number 49 prospect going into next year's NFL draft, which was good news and bad news for Cincinnati fans. He's only a junior, so they'd love to have him back here, but if you're a top 50 NFL prospect, you obviously go if you have that opportunity. So it starts up front with Myjai Sanders. Elijah Ponder is a defensive tackle who was first-team All-Conference last year. Linebacker Jarrell White has led the conference in tackles for most of this season. Ahmad Gardner at cornerback had the big pick six against ECU that turned that game in the fourth quarter last year. James Wiggins, number 1 at safety, missed all of last year with a torn ACL, but he's one of the best defensive players in the conference. Derek Forrest at safety, first team All-League last year. Javon Hicks was honorable mention All-Conference at safety last year. He led the conference in interceptions with 5. He can't start this year because James Wiggins has come back from his torn ACL. So when you have an all-league safety who can't crack the starting lineup, you know you're deep in the secondary.
Save some of those DBs for the rest of us, Dan. That's very impressive what Cincinnati's doing on that side of the ball. Let's talk about the offense. And Desmond Ridder, always a dangerous runner. How has he come along this year and in his career, Dan, since you've been watching him as a passer?
He's gotten better. He's completing 65% of his passes this year. Last year he was in the 50s, so obviously that has gotten better. He's always been okay as a passer, inconsistent. He's had his moments, but his statistics are pretty good. Last week the Bearcats played Houston, and Houston head coach Dana Holgerson made an interesting comparison going into the game that I had never heard before about Desmond Ridder, and I think it's actually pretty good. He compared him to Colin Kaepernick. Now, obviously, we're talking about, no anthem controversy or anything like that. He's talking about Colin Kaepernick early in his NFL career when he led the San Francisco 49ers to the Super Bowl. And I thought to myself, you know what? That's the best comparison I've heard yet for Desmond Ridder because he's tall and lean like Colin Kaepernick, inconsistent as a passer, but tremendous as a runner. And really, that's kind of what to expect when you face Desmond Ridder.
I saw his 91-yard touchdown. I was watching that game as it happened earlier this year, Dan. And on his runs, he is the team's second leading rusher. He has the most touchdowns rushing for the Bearcats with 8 this season. Is his running and the majority of it coming from design calls? Is it him getting out of the pocket on pass plays? How does he do the most damage with his legs week to week, Dan?
In the SMU game, where he had the 91-yard touchdown run, that was a game where they featured the quarterback run quite a bit. But I would say if you looked over the balance of the season, most of the running yards have come when he scrambled. They do use RPOs like a lot of college offenses, so he has the option to take off and run, depending on how the defense is playing it. But by and large, they don't want to expose him to too many hits. If the defense is just blatantly giving them the quarterback run, he'll use it, but they don't want him running the ball 10 to 20 times or anything like that.
I was really impressed with the speed of the skill guys for Cincinnati when I watched them play this season. Dan, who are the players to watch on the offensive side of the ball coming up Friday night?
The top running back is Jared Dokes. He had a career-high 184 yards last week against Houston, 166 before halftime. So had they kept feeding him the ball, he would have definitely had his first career 200-yard game. So he's their best running back. Jerome Ford is their number 2 running back. He's a transfer from Alabama. and started the season opener for the Crimson Tide last year. So when you get a running back that has started any games at Alabama, you know that he has talent. The wide receiver group, that's one of those situations where on a week-to-week basis, you never know which guy is going to emerge as the top target. Their best wide receiver is Alec Pierce, but he's been battling injuries this year. He did not play last week due to a shoulder injury. I'd say he's probably going to play this week, but I don't know how much he'll play. Their other top receivers include Michael Young, who is a Notre Dame transfer. They've got a small but really fast guy in Trey Tucker, who has a bunch of state track championships to his credit. Their best receiving target is probably one of their tight ends. They have a big NFL prospect tight end in Josh Wiley, who's from the Cincinnati area. He's got 4 touchdown catches already this year, and when they get in the red zone, he's the number one target.
Dan Hoard joining us on the Fixed NC Live line. Dan, East Carolina able to have 3,500 fans at Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium, and it's not enough to make a difference. It is enough to at least have a little sound and a little bit of an atmosphere. How about there at Nippert Stadium? What's the fan situation this year?
There won't be many. They're allowed to have direct family members, so every player can have up to 4 direct family members. The band will be there. The cheerleaders and dance squad will be there. And other University of Cincinnati student athletes who are in the COVID-19 protocol can attend, so that'll be a few more hundred. But it's not going to be very, very big or very noisy. Even though the state of Ohio would allow them to have more fans, the university on its own is electing not to do that since the stadium is located right in the heart of campus. So it will be a friends and family type crowd on Friday night.
Talking to Dan Hoard. Dan, the first ever college football playoff poll that came out, East Carolina was 23rd, and it was fun to put that out on social media and talk about it. We had no chance of getting to the Final Four and the playoff, but it was exciting to be in that poll. The deck is stacked against the AAC, against schools like Cincinnati, but how much is that talked about right now? As not only are you looking for a league championship, a potential undefeated season, but maybe a chance to break through and get to that college football playoff. How much discussion is there around Cincinnati about that?
It's being talked about a lot because if there's ever a year where it's possible, this would seem to be it. Since the league started at different times, the Pac-12 probably isn't even going to be considered a legitimate candidate since their teams are only playing 7 games. I mean, if you look at the teams ahead of Cincinnati right now, at least in the AP poll and the coaches poll, if Clemson, well, let me take away Clemson since they lost last week. If Alabama and Ohio State win out, obviously they've got a couple of spots. Clemson or Notre Dame or both are going to be in there.
Yeah.
But let's say that Notre Dame beats Clemson a second time. That would eliminate Clemson. Could Cincinnati complete the foursome with those 3 schools? I suppose it's possible. Right now they're 7th in the country, and 3 of the teams ahead of them have 1 loss. So I guess if it could ever happen, this seems to be the year, but the Bearcats have to take care of their business first.
1 week at a time. The next one coming up for the Bearcats will be the Pirates coming up on a Friday night. Just saw, Dan, that you guys will have another Friday nighter coming up against Tulsa later on in the year. We've talked about your travel schedule with the Bearcats and the Bengals in the past. I remember that year the Bengals took on my Redskins over in London, and we talked to you about that. I remember heading into the season. So how about this year? Are you traveling to road games, Dan, NFL and college football? How's your travel schedule? Different, or is it the same this season?
I have not traveled at all, Clip. NFL radio broadcasters are not traveling for the most part this year. There might be 1 or 2 teams. I've not encountered one yet from the teams that the Bengals have played. The NFL is strongly discouraging NFL radio crews from traveling, so the Bengals aren't. As for the Bearcats, we were going to travel this year, and then Cincinnati had to postpone its first effort to play against Tulsa about 4 weeks ago. And on the Monday after that game was postponed due to Cincinnati's positive tests, we were informed that we were no longer going to be part of the travel party as they, locked everything down to try to eliminate any possibilities. So for now, I'm doing every game from Cincinnati, whether my team is at home or on the road.
Yeah, Jeff Charles will be on the call at Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium coming up Friday night as the Pirates are on the road at Cincinnati, as he is not traveling this season either, Dan. And what a great time to be a Cincinnati football fan. You got the Bearcats doing what they're doing. And Dan, and maybe I'm wrong, I got to imagine that there's a lot of excited people for a 2-5-1 record for Cincinnati. I got to imagine there's a lot of people that are very optimistic about the way that's going with Joe Burrow in year one.
You are correct. It has energized the city and the fan base. And if people around the country only look at the Bengals' record, they think, well, Joe Burrow, we can see his stats are pretty good. He's doing a nice job, but the team still stinks. Well, that's not really the case. They've had the lead going into the fourth quarter in 6 out of their 8 games. So they are very close to turning a corner. And between that and Joe Burrow's play in the first half of his rookie year, people around here are definitely energized about the Bengals' future.
And they are going to play the role of spoiler, looks like, coming up the rest of the year. They got the Steelers a couple of times, the Ravens also, so an opportunity to maybe knock out one of those division rivals. And, boy, Dan, you might be look, I watch a lot of NFC East football. It is absolutely terrible. You might be in the top division, one of the top divisions in football.
I think it is. Pittsburgh and Baltimore speak for themselves. The Browns are 2 games over 500 so far this year, so everybody in the division but the Bengals has a winning record. And one thing that's helped those other teams is that they've played several teams from the NFC East, and the Bengals still have those games coming. They tied the Eagles, but they still have your Washington football team, plus Dallas, plus the Giants. So you'd like to think, as a Bengals fan, there are some wins to look forward to in the second half of the season.
Dan, while we got you here, a quick hoops question, as that is quickly approaching here, coming up at the end of November. What is the outlook right now for John Brandon and the Cincinnati Bearcats as they head into another year of American basketball?
They were picked to finish 4th in the league. I think they are at least that good. I don't know if they're as good as Houston, but I think Cincinnati is as good as anybody else in the American. They lost 2 great players who were both first-team All-Conference last year, Jaron Cumberland, who has had a great Bearcat career, and Trayvon Scott, who emerged his senior year as a great player. So they probably lost 2 players that are more valuable than any duo that any other team lost. But having said that, they've got a lot of returning talent back. They've really done well in recruiting under John Brandon, their second-year head coach. So I expect them to be in the mix to go back to the NCAA tournament this year.
Dan Hoard joining us on the Fixed NC Live line, talking a little Cincinnati hoops, Bengals, and Cincinnati Bearcats football. Dan, thank you so much. Always enjoy chatting with you. Have a great call on Friday night, and we'll talk to you again down the road.
Sounds good, Clip. Thank you.
All right, appreciate it. There's Dan Hoard joining us on the program today. He's got a lot to be excited about, calling undefeated Cincinnati Bearcats football, and then also some pretty exciting Bengals games this year with Joe Burrow as well. They have won a couple of games. They have been in just about every game outside of the loss to the Ravens, and also had that tie with the Philadelphia Eagles. Shirley, during that chat, and I'm not the perfect interviewer. I try to ask good questions. I leave some out. Mike wanted me to ask a question to Dan Hoard. He said, ask this guy if anyone on the team actually sucks. I didn't ask that question. They got to have a guy or two that sucks, right? But across the board, they're pretty darn good.
Yeah, which makes Friday the 13th look even more scary, doesn't it?
It does. It does.
Geez, I just don't know what to expect. I mean, obviously, Cincinnati, well, you heard Dan Hoard say that they're not even talking about their top 5 or top 10 ranking. You don't know what to expect. You hope that, I'm sure they're going to be ready to play, but now you got to, can East Carolina rise to the challenge? Because that's really what it's going to come down to. Are we going to have a competitive ball game, or is it going to be a blowout from get-go? Because the way Dan Hoard is saying, they've got a good run defense, they've got a good secondary, they've got a good running back. There's, the way he's talking, there's not a deficiency in that team anywhere.
We are looking up and down the roster and the depth chart to try to find a weakness, and that is
there's no weaknesses whatsoever.
No, not one to be found. So I said earlier this week, I'm kind of jaded when it comes to college football, that ECU has the same shot at making the college football this year as Cincinnati does. kind of tongue in cheek. The point being, the college football playoff is not for us. It's not set up for a school from the American, and it's not fair. The deck is stacked against us and everything. But
what the heck is that?
What is happening?
Is that you?
Is it you?
No, it's me.
That was the strangest thing.
Okay, sorry.
But what is it coming from?
It's coming from my phone.
Is it picking up on the mic?
Yeah.
Oh. Turn your mic off for a second, because it felt like... No, it's still going on.
Well, how the heck is that?
What is happening?
What is happening right now? 'Cause
Help!
that's my phone.
It's on your messenger, so it's on the PC.
Oh, it's on the
on the
computer?
PC. Oh. Okay. Hold on.
I thought I was going crazy. And then I knew that it was coming from...
It's Cincinnati. They're playing us on Friday the 13th.
It's the call is coming from inside the house. Back to my point that I was making. The deck is really stacked against ECU, Cincinnati, schools like that. But Dan Hoard was going over some scenarios. So if Bama runs the table, that would mean they would beat Florida, presumably in the SEC championship. Would that knock Florida down enough? Texas A&M has lost to Bama. So here we go. Here's this dumb college football conversation crap. All right, Chandler. Texas A&M has lost to Bama. They will not lose to Bama again because they're on that same side, so they won't play in the SEC championship. If Texas A&M has one loss and they run the table the rest of the way and Cincinnati's undefeated, who makes the playoff? Well, right now, Texas A&M is one spot or two spots ahead of Cincinnati. I get, it's not fair, right?
It's definitely not fair at all.
Even all the scenarios you can come up with. If Clemson loses again to Notre Dame, which I don't think is going to happen, although they do need to shore up their defense, you're going to have, I think the Final Four is already set, because I think Clemson's going to beat Notre Dame. I think Bama and Ohio State are going to run the table. I guess what you really need to happen if you're Cincinnati, you need Alabama to beat Florida in the SEC championship to knock them out. You need Ohio State to lose to somebody.
It's blatant that the grass is thicker to the path of the playoff for an American team.
It's hard to come up with a scenario, you know?
Right? Yeah.
So, but again,
that's just the lay of the land
for Cincinnati. Like Dan Hoard said, the 1 week at a time deal. Are we even having the New Year's Six bowls this year? I don't know.
See, the thing is, my question is, are we having bowls, period?
I don't know.
Feel like I'm so confused if there's even, will we have a 40 bowls in 40 days? I mean, I've heard bowl games being mentioned in the past couple of weeks, but the question is there bowl games to be played?
Well, people are making bowl projections, and let me see. Yeah, ESPN.
Didn't somebody already get an invitation to a bowl? Was
it
Navy?
Army or Navy or something?
It was a military school, I believe.
So, yeah, the college football playoff projections have been made, and they're all the same teams, of course, pretty much. Cotton Bowl. So, Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, Chandler. Cincinnati versus Florida, Cincinnati versus Georgia. So, that would be good for them if they could go to one of those. But, again, you're undefeated. You deserve a right to play for the championship. So, they're still making bowl projections. I know some have been eliminated this year. Some are still on. Although I got to imagine some of these are going to drop out.
If Cincinnati wins out, they end up winning in say they go to the bowl game that they were projected, the Peach Bowl. They win that bowl. Will they put a national championship banner up in Cincinnati?
like UCF did. Yeah. Why not? You're undefeated.
I mean,
Peach Bowl champions, national champions.
Because we don't have any other chance to be named that outright.
Which is another reason I like college basketball. Like the college football regular season is awesome. Their postseason is the worst, hands down. And it really takes away a lot. Like going into a year for East Carolina, your biggest goal years ago was going to the Liberty Bowl. Because that was all you could do. You could win a championship and go to the Liberty Bowl.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's not very exciting to me. You have no chance to win a championship. And it just stinks.
And back then, winning those back-to-back conference championships was great and all.
It was. Yeah.
But like you said, what's the point of knowing you're going to go to the Liberty Bowl every year?
I know.
I mean, what's the point of that?
It's very ho-hum.
It's like, we're. I mean, say we had won those back-to-back Liberty Bowls. It's like, we were back-to-back Conference USA champions, and we were also back-to-back Liberty Bowl champions.
I hate bowls anyway. I feel like there's no stakes there.
Especially with the playoffs in play now, it's like, what's the point of the other bowls?
If you win, the season ends. If you lose, the season ends. It's all. Right. Who cares?
And what's the point? Like, what's the point of a Duke's Mayonnaise Bowl? What's the point of a Gasparilla Bowl?
Yeah.
I mean, just it doesn't. It's fun, and it's fun for the players.
It's
to
good
go down
for the
there.
players. I'm speaking for myself,
right? And we're kind of being selfish when we discuss this, but I mean, it's great for player bonding, and you got a lot of seniors on the team.
Coaches love those extra practices, right?
Yeah,
that they always talk about.
But it's playoff football in college football, and I guess that's what they take to that as the players and coaches. But I mean, I don't think EC has to worry about going to a bowl this year, but maybe we can get back into that in the future years to come with Mike Houston.
Scott, our Maryland guy, said the Terps are taking down the Buckeyes. Scott, not only is that not going to happen, the Buckeyes are going to win by 40.
The Terp fans are starting to gain a lot of confidence in Coach Mo up there.
The Terps are starting to chirp?
They're starting to chirp, as Scott is chirping on Facebook Live right now.
For good reason. You get
Big
a couple wins, get excited. You beat Penn State. You got a lot to be happy about. All right, Chandler, you know how to take us to break?
I'm about to find out, baby.
So, Shirley, I don't know what the hell that call was. It was creeping me out. We'll see if Chandler remembers how to do his audio production duties. Do I need to walk you through it?
No, it's good. Here we go.
Well, take us to break.
All right.
Hit the music. All right, well done. We will take a timeout, come back, and wrap up Pirate Radio Live on a Tuesday after this.
Hey Pirate Nation, this is Tom Brown from Brown & Wood Buick GMC Truck. We've been serving the Pirate Nation in Eastern North Carolina for 83 years. We have 4 brands, 3 generations, 2 showrooms, and 1 goal to make sure you leave a happy customer.
This month at Brown & Wood, get an all-new 2020 GMC for 0% for 84 months or save over $8,000 off all models. As always, Brown & Wood is the home of the lifetime powertrain warranty.
We're located on Greenville Boulevard next to the Convention Center, or shop us online at brownandwoodauto.com.
Your CBD store in Greenville has the highest quality CBD products in the country. Your CBD store is the first and only brand that carries USDA certified organic products such as gummies, honey sticks, and high absorption water soluble liquids, which are all made in the United States. They even offer products for your pet. The educated staff will help you answer any questions, and you can stop in anytime to get a free sample. Your CBD store, locally owned and operated, open Monday through Saturday 10 to 6, right beside Duck Donuts in Greenville.
The best place in Greenville to unwind and have fun is AJ McMurphy's. AJ's is open every day with great food and great drink specials. During the week, stop by for open mic, music on the patio, or sports trivia with me, Clip Rock. The weekends are made for football. Watch every game in college on Saturday, and every Sunday is Fun Day with the NFL ticket. Follow AJ's on Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat to see their features menu and weekly lineup. AJ McMurphy's, Turnberry Square at Bells Fork, and online at ajmcmurphys.com.
Temperatures are in the low 30s at 10 a.m., increasing sharply to 75 degrees by 1 p.m., and then dropping into the teens by 10 p.m. So before you go to work, put on some gloves, pack some shorts, and a parka. That should cover you for the day.
Your heating and cooling is taking a beating. Guarantee your family's comfort all fall and winter with a new train system. It's hard to stop a train. For a limited time, get a new train system with 0% financing for 60 months. Go to DelcorInc.com for more information. Delcor, the service professionals. See your independent train dealer for details. Call 1-888-534-6898 for details.
You don't need a big meeting. You don't need a birthday. You don't need any excuse at all. You just need to love subs. Times 12. Order the Jersey Mike's catering box today. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above. Love Jersey Mike's subs? Love them times 12 with our new catering box. Packed full of a dozen individually wrapped subs. They're yours for the sharing. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
Hidden phone trade-ins, hidden plan requirements, hidden catches. You won't find them at US Cellular because we speak fair. Plus, when you switch right now, you can get the latest phones free. Upgrade to Fair. Upgrade to U.S. Cellular. Requires new postpaid service plan, new line port in, credit approval, qualified smartphone purchase, and comes via monthly bill credit on a 30-month RIC. Taxes, fees, and additional terms apply.
Does the idea of going to your local U.S. Cellular store make you feel a bit uncomfortable? Tired of the hassle of waiting and wearing a mask? Let Toby Williams and his outside sales team take away that worry. They will come right to your home or office and drop your phone off on the porch or at the front desk for you. Saving you time and worry is what the team at Cellular Warehouse is all about. Call Toby today at 252-799-7051 and let them help you with all of your wireless needs. Cellular Warehouse, your local U.S. Cellular authorized agent.
Hey, this is Jay from Villa Verde. Did you know that Villa Verde opened up its second location? Yes, it's Villa Verde Dos on Arlington Boulevard across the hospital. This new location is a fast casual environment where you can make your own bowls for only $9.95. Choose from our fresh ingredients, from our toppings bars, or enjoy an amazing rotisserie chicken. We promise you can be in and out in less than 15 minutes. For a quick, healthy meal at an affordable price, visit us at Villa Verde Dos on Arlington Boulevard. Villa Verde, a platform for good.
This is Coach Donnie Kirkpatrick, Office Coordinator for ECU Football, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by First National Bank. With approximately 100 locations throughout the Carolinas, First National Bank is helping both individuals and businesses redefine convenience in banking. Visit us today at fnb-online.com. First National Bank, member FDIC. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. At Angel Oak, they continue to make customer service the number one priority. A local mortgage advisor is the key to your transaction success. The combination of their local team's experience and Angel Oak's wide offerings of products, from standard conventional, government, and portfolio loans, has something for every financial situation. For more information, call Talbot Green, Joanne Weir, or Wanda Hager at 751-2060. Now let's head back in to Pirate Radio Live. Here's your hosts, Clip Rock.
All right, Shirley, we forgot something.
We forgot to give away that. We'll do it tomorrow.
You want to do it tomorrow?
Yeah, let's do it tomorrow.
All right.
Well, because for one, we're out of time.
Woo for Wednesday. We're coming up tomorrow.
Yeah, Woo Wednesday.
We'll do it. Make good.
Yeah, that was my bad. I had a situation I had to take care of.
All right, we're all good. Chandler, great job stepping up to the plate. Thank y'all for tuning in today. We'll be back with you coming up Wednesday, 3 o'clock on an all-new edition of Pirate Radio Live. Kevin Monroe going to join us. The voice, Jeff Charles, Bryce Williams, Wager McGee. Fun Wednesday show on tap coming up 3 o'clock right here on Pirate Radio. For Shirley Rhodes, Chandler Honeycutt, I am Clip Brock. So long, everybody.
Thanks for listening to Pirate Radio Live, an exclusive presentation of